Iran has surrendered and then immediately stabbed us in the back, breaking their deal that they just made with us. There is a new COVID-type situation seemingly on the horizon. A lot of people are freaking out about it, and Donald Trump gave a big middle finger to the World Health Organization. The leftoids are losing their minds and their elections across the entire country. HASAN PIKER is having meltdowns. It's honestly just a pretty beautiful day in God's beautiful planet Earth. I must take this moment to thank God not only for giving mercy to people that on their face do not deserve it, but also by doling out justice to complete morons that do deserve it. We're going to be focusing a little bit more on the latter today. Definitely subscribe, lock in, boys and girls, lots to talk about. Yesterday, on my gigantic deep dive, I talked about how Iran surrendered. They literally were making a deal where they agreed to give up their nuclear enriched uranium, and everything changed. Donald Trump made the tweet, 3 world-class American destroyers just transited very safely out of the Strait of Hormuz under fire. There was no damage done to the 3 destroyers. That's because we're the greatest navy on the planet, and those goat-herding people of individual sexualities that I personally think warrants the death penalty, those guys over there, they really tried their best to kill us, and they failed, and they're dead. This is a lot of good news all in one. I'm so sorry. Killing PDF files is actually kind of goated, actually. Everyone freaking out on the Donald about Epstein. Bros killed more pedophiles than anyone on the freaking planet. There was no damage done to the destroyers, but great damage done to the Iranian attackers. Complete W. We absolutely love to see it. Leftoids crying that terrorists are dying, but that makes sense that because they have a kinship with terrorists. They were completely destroyed along with numerous small boats which are being used to take the place of their fully decapitated navy. These boats went to the bottom of the sea quickly and efficiently. Missiles were shot at our destroyers and were easily knocked down. Likewise, drones came and were incinerated while in the air. God, I love his vivid descriptions of this. Oh my God. This is like Tolkien wishes. Tolkien wishes he could describe fight scenes like the Donald. They dropped ever more beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave. He's a poet as he kills pedophile sheep fuckers across the planet. God! Based, actually. A lot of people are mad, but that's because they're retards. That's okay. A lot of people are retards. A normal country would have allowed these destroyers to pass, but Iran is not a normal country. True. They are led by lunatics. True. And they had the chance to use a nuclear weapon. They would do it without question, but they'll never have that opportunity. And just like we knocked them out again today, we'll knock them out a lot harder and a lot more violently in the future if they don't get their deal signed fast. Our 3 destroyers and their wonderful crews will now rejoin the naval blockade, which is truly a wall of steel, President Donald J. Trump. Truly the GOAT. I'm not going to relitigate all my stances on the deal that's being made, as well as the terrorist, pedophile, evil regime of Iran that's been torturing us and their own people for 47 years, and how awesome it is that they're dying. But I actually will, in just a TLDR format, tell you, Trump doesn't fold. This man don't fold. That's right. Now, we win a war by one of 2 ways. Either by them being dead, or by them giving us all the things that we want. Now, a lot of people think that that's immoral. I think that the people that think that that's immoral are gay retards. Yes, actually winning wars is awesome. Stop being so pathetic. All right, so anyway, breaking, multiple missiles fired from southern Iran into the strait per local Iranian reports, but the big twist is coming. Iran's official state broadcaster confirms that Iran fired missiles at U.S. naval units in the Strait of Hormuz. This is the Islamic Republic announcing it themselves. Thank God no one was hurt, because we are literally up against 75 IQ inbreds that have basically no military left because we so thoroughly destroyed them. Understand, all the dipshits that have been saying that Trump is losing the war, every single one of those guys gets disproved every single day by public media. Now, this is the craziest twist of the day. The United Arab Emirates launched attacks against Iran amid rapidly escalating tensions across the Middle East. So to be clear, Iran struck the UAE yesterday. Looks like war's back on the menu, boys. But this time we have nothing to do with it. That's right. What do you mean? What do you mean? We're just nice, wholesome American people guiding ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Because we're such good people. We're so kind, actually. Oh, you want to go through the Strait of Hormuz? We will help you. Not if you're Iranian. We are going to blockade you until you strangle on your own blood, or you make a deal. We are such benevolent people. It's so nice to be a world hegemon. No. We shouldn't actually violate the sovereignty of other nations. Why not? Who gonna stop us? That's right. We do what's best for us and for the world because we're your benevolent overlords, because we're the strongest on the planet. You exist autonomously purely due to our benevolence. My stances on things are pretty based, actually. Now, I'm not saying might makes right, but I am saying might makes, and we're the mighty. So anyway, just in, Iran has launched missiles at U.S. military ships, Strait of Hormuz. That failed, obviously. The Wall Street Journal says Saudi Arabia and Kuwait lifted restrictions on U.S. military's use of their bases and airspace. But all the leftoids said that Trump was ruining our alliances with the Arab countries. That's so weird. Trump administration is looking to restart Project Freedom as early as this week. Project Freedom is basically escorting ships through the Iranians' attempts to do terror in the Strait of Hormuz. To understand, while the world is criticizing us for killing terrorists, the terrorists are bombing civilian ships, much to the silence of the world. U.S. military strikes Iran's coast, not just their ships, which is based. Apparently, there was a massive drone attack on Tehran, according to the regime. Bro, it's pretty insane stuff that's just happening. Oh, actually, I can't show war footage. My YouTube guy got really mad at me and got, like, tons of my videos demonetized because of this. Anyway, breaking, the Pentagon confirmed that Iran did attack U.S. Navy destroyers. The strikes were all intercepted. Thank God. Bro, these guys suck a lot. They suck butt. They suck butt on like a diabolical level. Could you imagine sucking butt so much that they're gonna do some sneaky weaky surprise attack while they're surrendering in the negotiating room? All right, they're gonna do some sneaky surprise attack, bomb 3 of our ships. Not only did they fail every single time, but they got completely obliterated. Remember when the libtards were saying that we're losing this war? Bro, remember Myron Gaines made a 2-hour-long video crashing out, chimping out on me, how I was like, oh, we're winning the war, and he's like, no, we're actually losing the war. Yeah, so U.S. strikes pummeling the Iranian regime infrastructure. It's pretty wild. Now, Ursula von der Leyen, this is the president of the EU, all right? Lib-cuck extraordinaire. So this comes after, understand, 2 months of bitching, because that's what leftists do. It's their superpower. You see, when men want to handle arguments, it usually involves some sort of physical violence of some sort. When women want to handle arguments, well, they bitch. Welcome to the EU, ladies and gentlemen, the most feminized region on the entire planet. Oh my God. Not trying to be controversial or anything. If you can't defeat them with fists, you must bitch at them until they succumb to your demands. Now, she's been bitching for the last 2 months, but all of a sudden, everything changed. I just had a very good call with President of the United States. Oh my God. Trump called yo ass out. We have discussed the situation in the Middle East in our close coordination with regional partners. We are united in that Iran must never possess a nuclear weapon. Recent events have clearly shown the risks to the regional stability and global security are too great. We also discussed the EU-US trade deal. We remain fully committed on both sides to its implementation. Good progress being made from tariff reduction by early July. Understand what these people are doing, and it's wild. So after months of condemning us for shit, Donald Trump gets on the phone with her one time. She makes a public tweet basically disavowing her last 2 months of policy. 2 months of bitching reduced to ashes before the glorious, glorious orange schmeat that Donald Trump slapped on the table and humiliated her with. Trump then tweeted this: I had a great call with President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. We discussed many topics, including that we are completely united, that Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. We agreed a regime that kills its own people cannot control a bomb that can kill millions. That's a pretty hot take. I've been waiting patiently for the EU to fulfill their side of the historic trade deal we agreed in Turnberry, Scotland, the largest trade deal ever. A promise that was made that the EU would deliver their side of the deal, and as per agreement, cut the tariffs to 0. I agreed to give her until our country's 250th birthday, or unfortunately, these tariffs would immediately jump to much higher levels. That's my guy. That's my guy. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Look, I'm not the hugest fan of tariffs economically, but I do very much like the ideas of using tariffs to bully retards. Now, some people would say that that's unconstitutional. I would say, fuck you. Anyway, just in, the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio approves. Ooh, that's a big-ass freaking number. That's $25 billion, $800 million of weapon sales to Middle Eastern countries. So, again, understand that right now, those Middle Eastern countries are doing the war while we're doing the negotiating. Understand this is the most elaborate good cop, bad cop in the history of American politics, where Donald Trump is like, I am the peace guy. Give me a big hug, Iranians. Kiss my ring, please, please. I would love it if my Middle Eastern allies would stop obliterating your asses. And then Israel's like, we're ready to strike. United Arab Emirates literally just struck them yesterday. And it's like, please, let's make a deal. We're just sitting there blockading you until the deal is made while they get obliterated on all sides. This is one of the wildest good cop, bad cops ever. Now, the Trump critics are completely fucking retarded. All right, and it's a really good day, honestly, because I love when the Trump critics get humiliated, because a lot of the Trump critics come from a very bad place. See, I criticize Trump myself, but I'm not going to go out here and be like, oh, Trump's the Antichrist. I just think, unfortunately, Trump is a little bit too liberal. Liberal. Man, I wish he was the authoritarian that the left actually thinks he is. So you have to listen to Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson, two people that just plunge the dagger straight into Donald Trump's backs because they're trying to simp for a Muslim audience now. So you got to hear this. This entire, like, 40-second clip might make your skin crawl.
Terrible approval numbers with the midterms all but lost already. What happens to Trump now?
That we're just not good at predicting the future. You know, we imagine like this is going to happen in November in the midterms. Maybe not. Just remember that Trump turns 80 next month, you know, and I hope he has a great birthday. I don't wish Trump ill. However, he will be gone relatively soon.
What? What are we doing, man?
And we'll still have this country. I don't think things are going well. I think they could be a lot worse. I think imagine.
It's so crazy, man, because things are actually, like, pretty good right now. Obviously, it needs to get way better. We need to crack down on crime, I think, 1,000-fold. Mass deportations need to get back on the menu, etc., etc. But objectively, and I mean objectively, things are relatively good comparing where we were a couple of years ago. Like, we just got such a massive Supreme Court win in regards to redistricting. It's insane. And I can point out a dozen more things. Net negative migration for the first time in my lifetime. Like, objectively, incredible things happen, but these retards just, they have their own game. I think Megyn Kelly's just a grifter. I think Tucker Carlson, son of a CIA agent, by the way, is an actual operative of some sort.
And other leaders who
and
are
both saying, oh, but the good news is Trump will be dead soon. It's like, what are we even doing, man?
Both malicious and competent. Trump is incompetent. Gavin Newsom is not incompetent.
Right, so Trump is incompetent. An incredibly competent leader, by the way, by any metric. He gets shit done the way he wants it to happen. Objectively, he's an incredibly competent person. He won at least 2 elections. Gavin Newsom is not incompetent? Gavin Newsom, the guy that bankrupted California, spent billions of dollars on a train that doesn't exist? You know, he spent hundreds of millions on homeless issues, and the homeless problems only got worse? What are we talking about?
He's far more malicious than Trump. I think he's far less transparent than Trump. Like, I don't know. We just need to keep our wits about us and not ping pong from one bad idea to another bad idea.
Like this is wild. Well, what are we even doing here? Oh, Trump is 80. He's going to be dead soon. Gavin Newsom is very competent, unlike Trump. Wow, dude. Wow. And dude, it's wild, the transformation of this guy. It really is. Like, everything flipped on its head.
Russia is not Iraq. Russia represents 1/8 of the world's total landmass. It is a huge country and a highly fractious country with a large and very restive Muslim population. So think this through just for 1 second. What are the chances that in the ensuing chaos, which we are forcing on Russia, in that chaos, what are the chances that one of those 6,200 nuclear weapons might wind up in the hands of someone who is truly crazy and dangerous to us and to the world?
There is a kind of stability.
Right, he's terrified of a Muslim in Russia getting a nuclear bomb because Islam is growing massively in Russia right now.
As bad as nuclear weapons are, when rival nations possess them. India and Pakistan, which are countries with a long, almost 80-year history of hating each other and many wars in the interim, have managed to fight fairly bitter conflicts since 1947 without using nuclear weapons against each other. How is that possible? Well,
it's because unlike the Iranian regime, they're not an actual death cult that wants to die to obliterate their enemy. Unlike Iran, the Islamic Republic that runs Iran is a literal death cult that wants to die in the chasing of a new world where they obliterated the enemies of Allah to bring the end times. All right, like it's so obvious actually.
Oh, the mutual.
In 2022, it would be horrible if a Muslim got a nuclear weapon. 2026, is it really so bad? Is it really so bad if Muslims get nuclear weapons? Like, it's honestly wild watching this guy. It's insane. Now, the update, it's just an insane day altogether. The way they basically tried to make a deal with us, then they immediately backtracked on their own deal to stab us in the back and bomb our ships only to get obliterated themselves.
Fox News alert, we just bombed Iran. CENTCOM launching airstrikes hitting multiple ports along the Strait of Hormuz. Senior U.S.
Every terrorist killed is another sheep saved.
Officials saying this is not a restart of the war or an end to the ceasefire.
That's right.
It all started.
This is a defensive maneuver, killing terrorists defensively. It has nothing to do with the war. It's just a random thing that we do. It's an excursion.
This afternoon, when Iranian attack boats from the Mosquito Fleet swarmed toward 3 guided missile destroyers in the Gulf. The USS Truxtun, the USS Rafael Peralta, and the USS Mason defended themselves, keeping them at bay with 50 caliber machine guns, small caliber gun teams on deck, and Hellfire missiles fired from Apaches. Iranian forces also launched drones and missiles from the shoreline. This was a pretty intense and sustained barrage, so the United States responded forcefully, launching airstrikes, targeting Iranian missile facilities responsible for the attack.
Let's go. Good.
Hitting missile and drone launch sites.
Yes, killing them is good, actually. Stop being a pussy.
Control locations and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance.
Oh, what if you kill somebody? That's the point.
Nodes. Central Command said the Iranian attacks were unprovoked, and we responded in self-defense. Adding that not a single American
It's
ship.
Self-defense. We are blockading their country and making sure that they gargle in their own blood until they make a deal. And if they try to attack us, we're going to kill them. And it's self-defense. And it's awesome, actually. And we make the rules because we are the strongest country. And we don't want you to have nukes because fuck you. That's actually my stance. Now, a lot of people are really mad about it. Why do we get to have nukes, but they don't? I love when libtards try to hit you with moral equivalency. And I'll explain it. It's very simple. It's because, you see, we are we want what's actually best for us. And we don't want necessarily what's best for them. Does that make sense? Like, I love how you need to explain this. Because we're the good guys, and therefore we want the good guys to win. They're the bad guys, and we don't want the bad guys to win. Does that make sense to you? But why is it morally equivalent? Because we're better people, actually.
Was hit. Central Command says we don't seek escalation, but we remain positioned and ready to protect American forces. ABC asked the president if the ceasefire was over, and he said no. Ceasefire's still on. It's just a love tap. The president later writing on
a love tap. We obliterated their missile bases and their little fleet. It's just a love tap. Nothing to see here, folks.
On Truth Social that the Iranian small boats were completely destroyed. Iranian missiles were easily knocked down, and drones were incinerated while in the air, and they dropped ever so beautifully down to the ocean, very much like a butterfly dropping to its grave.
That's our president.
The Iranians claim it was tit for tat. Yesterday, an F-18 Super Hornet lit up an Iranian tanker with machine gun fire when it tried running the blockade and turned it around back to port. The president.
It's our blockade. You can't cross it because if you cross it, you'll die. That's how blockades work, actually. And if you think it's immoral that we have a blockade, well, I have a solution, actually. You could surrender completely. Alternatively, you could cry about it. These are your two options. You could pick whichever one you like.
It says the 3 destroyers successfully transited out of the strait and will join the blockade. And the Wall Street Journal's reported.
People just absolutely furious that Donald Trump is trying to win a war. They're like, no, you can't win the war. It'll make them unhappy. Well, that sucks for them, I guess.
That Project Freedom is
still issue. Don't be a terrorist next time. This wouldn't have happened.
In play. It was paused for diplomatic reasons to help with the Iranian negotiations and because of an airspace dispute with the Saudis. But it's all patched up.
Let's go.
And the French and British navies are apparently on their way.
Oh boy, the gay force is arriving.
Escort duty when needed.
The homosexual alliance.
The president said earlier today, a normal country would let boats sail peacefully through the strait. But Iran's not a normal country.
That's true.
Some of these Persian pirates are still trying to charge tolls. They're screaming into loudspeakers.
Do you see what I mean, bro? Do you see what I mean? Do you want people like this to have a nuclear weapon? They are willing to die, right? At just the possibility of shooting one of our boats. Like, do you understand how retarded this entire fucking regime is? Like, they are on these tiny little fucking boats with little gay-ass pistols trying to take down our, like, gigantic, way more powerful ships. We have destroyers, technology that these people could not even comprehend with their 78 IQ minds, all right? Rubbing their 2 brain cells together, they cannot compute. We have these gigantic destroyers, and they're coming at us with these gay-ass rafts with a couple of retards with sharp sticks, all right? That's the equivalent of military difference at this point, and they're still doing it. They know they have no hope. They know they're going to die trying, but they don't care. You want those fuckers to have a nuke? Like, it's so obvious.
Speakers at tanker traffic, pay up or we'll shoot. The Iranians even clipped a Chinese vessel in the strait this week. With friends like these, I don't know. Some ships are just going dark or flipping their flags and sailing through anyway because it's gotten ridiculous. The administration's going to take the Iranian hostage crisis in the strait to the UN and put the Russians and Chinese on blast.
This should be a simple demand. The removal of mines from an international waterway.
The thing is, the UN is useless. The purpose of this, a lot of people think that, why should Trump even go to the UN here? Like, why is he going to the UN, getting them to try to condemn Iran for doing obvious public acts of terror on, like, civilian ships and shit? It's a humiliation ritual. Like, their condemnations do nothing. They're literally terrorists in Iran. They'll keep doing this shit, all right? This Islamic Republic. All right, so this isn't actually to solve anything. This is just a humiliation ritual. It's just basically to get the United Nations to be like, yeah, you guys are right. These guys are bad guys. You're totally based and fucking awesome and shit. And it's actually working. A lot of people don't understand. We don't need the UN. I don't even think we should be part of the UN, to be honest. Every time I wake up, I see the UN puts out a new proclamation how we're immoral for killing terrorists or some shit. You know, the last time they were really mad at us was when we bombed Islamists that were massacring Christians in Nigeria. It's like, how dare you violate the sovereignty of... Literally, fuck yourself, people. Like, I do not care about your opinions. I don't care if you get a whole bunch of libtards together to decide to vote on how we're actually bad guys, right? How the United States is immoral to women, while simultaneously you're propping up every Islamic regime that's quite literally genitally mutilating 99% of women in the country. I do not care about your political or moral stances, and the UN doesn't even have the power to back up their political or moral stances. That's why this is such an absolute joke. So, no, we're not actually going to the UN because we want their help. We are doing this to humiliate them, because they are literally coming against us every single time, and by proxy, that means they're supporting the Islamic Republic that we're at war with. And by doing that, by doing this, we're basically making sure that they're aware that, no, we're going to humiliate you because you keep coming to condemn us for literally everything we do. You realize these people are bombing civilian ships and putting mines in, like, a public waterway? That's pretty fucked up. And they're going to have to admit that now.
You cannot exact illegal tolls. We have to address these violations here in the council, and we have to ask ourselves, if a country chooses to oppose such a simple proposition, do they really want peace?
The president says they're a bunch of lunatics. That's why they can't have a nuclear weapon.
He's right.
And if they don't sign the deal fast, the War Department's going to be a lot more violent.
Oh, shit.
There are two options for the Iranian regime. They can choose the pen
That's
or they can choose the sword.
God, this is literally everything I've ever wanted from a president, okay? Everything I've ever wanted from a president. Maybe not to have gone to war originally. There's a whole debate about that specifically, and obviously it depends on how it all ends up. As long as we're not there on, like, some boots on the ground infinite war, I'm fully supportive of using our tax dollars to obliterate terrorists that are trying to develop nukes to kill us. I think that's awesome, actually. However, important to note, and I think it's very important to note this, actually. I'm so happy we have a president that actually wants to win a war. And he's willing to do it. You know, he's not willing to do this, like, infinite cuckery where it's like, well, actually, we're not going to kill you, but also we would really like if you made a deal. And they'll be like, oh, no, why would we do that?
One would include them signing a good faith agreement that would lead into more detailed negotiations, and the other would be the Americans resuming their bombing campaign against the Islamic Republic.
That's the options.
Today, the Iranian president, for the first time,
Submit or die.
met with the gay Ayatollah in his little cave.
Oh, shit.
The meeting lasted over 2.5 hours.
They met the gay Ayatollah.
It's hard to talk without lips. The key sticking point to the deal is that Trump's driving a really hard bargain. The president's demanding that the regime hand over their entire uranium stockpile.
Oh, shit.
Close up all their nuke facilities and don't enrich, not even a little, for decades.
Based.
Iran, and this is according to
I love seeing people crash out about that. Who are we to tell them not to enrich uranium? We're the United States of America, the world superpower, and we do not trust the terrorists that are chanting death to America to have uranium. If you don't like it, well, unfortunately, the solution, once again, you could cry. You could cry about it, actually. I feel like that would be great. Next time, don't be terrorists, and you wouldn't be in this predicament.
The New York Times is countering that they'd like to give the uranium to a third party, potentially Russia, and they want an enrichment freeze for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, fuck that.
But Iran's on a deadline, and they know it.
It looks like they've likely already cut back their production, maybe by 400,000 barrels a day. They'll likely continue to ramp down their production as their storage fills and their inability to export oil.
If their oil wells pop, the country's ripe for a revolution. The regime's already getting antsy. They've been going on a protester execution spree.
Yeah.
Brent crude dropped below $100 a barrel for the first time in 2 weeks today.
Let's go.
And corporate America.
But I was told this was going to be the next Great Depression.
Just had its best earnings.
Every single one of these experts and libtards and cucks have all been wrong about everything. I just feel like it's important to point out.
In 20 years. Gas prices are high. No doubt about that. But many people believe it's worth it to get a good deal. A Harvard-Harris poll has 2/3 of voters saying the president shouldn't settle for less at the negotiating table. Over half of Democrats agree.
The American people ultimately are based as fuck. All right, I've come to this conclusion. The American people are actually just fucking awesome.
Agree. And the president's hold on the party, still rock solid.
Donald John Trump. He absolutely still has the juice. And when you're a Republican
and
you go against Trump, you get voted off the island. I always love Survivor.
Right.
And in this particular case, what we saw in Indiana was you go adios amigos, goodbye, see you later. And to me, that is emblematic of what we see nationwide with Republicans. I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been.
Literally what I was saying the entire fucking time.
You know who else is getting pretty popular? Marcus
Rubio.
His stock's on the rise.
That's right.
So he's been dispatched to the Vatican to make peace with the Pope.
It has the seal of the State Department, so
Dude, Rubio is going to be our next president, and it's going to be a fucking awesome American century. I have never seen the left seethe as much as I am right now. You know, Rubio stocks up, Trump winning a war, these people crying, things are not going as they said it would. It's just absolute, complete Democrat humiliation, and it's fucking awesome. Democrats are doing, like, incredibly badly right now. Like, on a humiliating level, AOC trying to run for president, she humiliated herself. The left can't get out of the left is actually violent allegations, and that's because it's true. The left is actually violent. So Mark Hamill, all right, gay Luke Skywalker over here. If only he was dead. If only, like, dude, these are your leftist guys. You know, everyone that says Donald Trump rhetoric is bad because he celebrated when somebody he hates dies, which I'm not going to sit here and support. I actually think it's bad taste. These people are literally all coming together. These gaytheists are coming together to pray to a God that they don't believe to kill Donald Trump. Do you understand how evil these people are? Like, cartoonishly evil. It's like, I don't believe in God at all, but I'm willing to make an exception to pray to him if he's going to kill this guy that I don't like. That's the left. Now, the left is doing incredibly poorly everywhere because people are realizing, actually, that they're evil retards. In a massive W, Tennessee passes its new congressional map, eliminating the state's only Democrat district. As you can see, the leftoids... actual gigantic protests. Again, left is the party of bitching, and the right is the party of hopefully doing, and also a lot of bitches, because we have a lot of, in my opinion, infiltrated libtards in our actual party that we need to be purging every single election cycle. You vote against our principles, you're gonna get purged, bitch. And I feel like that is how we slowly but surely save our country. Every single time we purge them, we replace them with even more based individuals, and that's how we rock. And it's gonna happen. You'll see, because the purge already started. A lot of people that backstabbed Trump, they all lost their elections yesterday, which was incredible. But today, this is the huge win. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signed the new 9-0 congressional map into law. This is the previous map where, as you can see, it was 8-1, 8 Republican seats, 1 Democrat seat. And this is the brand new map, redistricted, because we're no longer doing race-based districting that the left has been pushing forever, and they lost their 1 seat. Now, a lot of leftoids are mad. They're saying it's not constitutional. My opinion to that is a solution that I feel like, a solution that I have a lot when it comes to leftoids crying, and that is, you could cry about it, but that's where we're going. Now, obviously, I think that race-based districting is obviously racist. It goes against Civil Rights Act, and that's why the Supreme Court actually voted against it, right? As you can see, they used to create this super uber tiny little fucking district in order to make sure that they would have a blue one. Yeah, but the new map doesn't see it that way, actually, unfortunately for them. And unfortunately, they're gay retards, and the gay retards will continue bitching because that's their superpower. In a hyper-feminized society where the ultimate giga weapon of the left is the ability to bitch incessantly, unfortunately, when you have strong men that oppose the bitching, they're just unaffected. Now, just to understand, for all the retards that are currently bitching, as you can see over here, Massachusetts is more red than Tennessee is blue. All right, just to understand. Massachusetts is 36% red, and this place over here, Tennessee, is only 34% blue. All right, so just to understand what's going on here, in Massachusetts, there are currently 0 red seats because the way they district it with their squiggly ass lines. So again, you could cry about it ultimately, and you could fuck yourself ultimately, and that's where we're at right now. That's literally where we're at. The new map eliminated the only seat, colossal W. Fuck these people, we will destroy them. Now, to understand why the left is immoral and evil, you have to understand that they use words to destroy you, right? They'll use words like unconstitutional in regards to whatever we do, but they will do the same exact quote-unquote unconstitutional things to obtain power for themselves. Which is why I fully believe in utilizing the systems that we have to take as much power as possible, because this is ultimately an arms race. Either we take power, good men, good virtuous men with actual morals based on whatever God or whatever you claim to be basing your moral system on, versus immoral psychopathic leftoids that are imported from the third world, propped up by third worlders to control our nation and subvert our actual society to benefit the retard ingrates, as opposed to actually benefiting the American people. Because if they gain power, which they're trying to do, they will do everything in their power to keep power. They will naturalize infinite retards. They will completely rig the Supreme Court in their favor. And for all you know, that will be the last election. So when it comes to them doing whatever they can to gain power, I do believe that, yeah, actually, we should be doing whatever we can to gain power too. And understand how they lie to you. Let me introduce you to American history according to the left.
Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation.
Always.
That immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America, Africa, that immigrants have built this country.
The Somalians that built this country.
Black Americans really created democracy in this country.
So real.
That's exactly right. How they literally made something from nothing.
That's right, like the Big Bang. It's true. As you can see from the founding fathers, they're all black people.
Cannot talk about any achievement that the city of Boston has had in safety, jobs, and economic development, in education, without talking about the Somali community.
That's right. The Somalis known for the Boston Tea Party. That's so real. So yeah, anyway, they're just getting absolutely and humiliated and shamed because they just think that you could just make up a black history or whatever. Like, they could just, like, make up their own history. Words mean nothing to these people. Reality means nothing to these people. It is a giant propaganda war that they are using to manipulate you. And this is going to sound bad for them, but they are losing very badly, very badly. So Kamala Harris's daughter is going giga viral for being a fucking retard, and AOC is going giga viral because she just destroyed her 2028 campaign. So it's just beautiful.
Ella Emhoff has been on SSRIs for 15 years. She's the stepdaughter of Kamala Harris. What?
I'm just sitting here crocheting, waiting for a friend, and I was just listening to this podcast that the Wall Street Journal put out about SSRIs and
Red flag.
Anti-anxiety meds and kind of the overprescription of them in America, and it was making me think a lot because I've been on SSRIs for over a decade, almost 15 years probably.
How old is she? Like, I mean, she doesn't look that old. 50? No, no, she's not 50. Like,
you might look 50. She's been on SSRI since she was 10, bro. Oh my god. Do you want a president that drugged their daughter?
oh my God. What the fuck? She said for 50, that means 11 years old. Holy shit.
They were calling out the lack of research.
I love the new Democrat policy of, hi, I'm running for president. I'm an illiterate retard. Please vote for me. I'm just like you.
On long-term use of these things, lack of information that doctors give about coming off of these meds, and kind of the psychological effect.
You mean to tell me that the doctors actually want to sedate the population? That's so wild. You mean to tell me that the overall Democrat policies wants a sedated leftist population? That just makes it so much easier to manipulate and groom them. They're all drugged out of their fucking minds. And aside from that, also infinite money gets shoveled into Big Pharma. So Big Pharma donates infinite money into the Democratic Party. You know, a lot of people talk about the Israel lobby. And yeah, I don't like lobbies for foreign countries in general. I think all of that needs to be outlawed. The Israel lobby lobbied $100 million during the last election cycle. Do you know how much Big Pharma lobbied? $500 million. 5 times the amount as all of the Israel lobby put together. All right, they are just objectively 5 times more powerful in the country. All right, just to understand how lobbying works and how our politicians operate. So we have, and almost all of those donations go to leftoids, like Bernie Sanders, right, who claims he's for healthcare and shit, and he literally paid by Big Pharma to artificially jack up the prices of pharmaceuticals. Trump was an enemy of Big Pharma, so they fucking hated him. Donald Trump, actually, for those of you unaware, slashed the prices because of preferred nation benefit. Another thing that Donald Trump did in our country through his second term, which has been fucking fantastic. We have preferred nation benefits that basically we get drugs now for the cheapest price of any country on the planet, or tied for the cheapest. Bernie Sanders didn't want to endorse that, but he was for free healthcare. He was for infinite free healthcare that the taxpayers could pay for the healthcare of the Somalis that are raping our country. All right, we should be paying for their shit, obviously. But now you finally actually understand. I'm just noticing she has a tattoo of a fucking cow on her arm. Holy fucking shit, these people are retarded. But the point that I'm trying to make is simple. The infinite drug addiction of our generation of children is 100% Democrat policy. I don't think you understand how evil these people are.
They can have.
That's brutal.
It really got me thinking how little I've thought about that, naively, obviously. But I've noticed that every time I've gone off of it for a week or missed it or for whatever reason, like, it has been really hard for me. And I had a really...
It fucks you up and it makes you stay there forever. And you shovel infinite money into Big Pharma and you sedate yourself and make yourself infinitely more susceptible to propaganda. It's a win-win. The pharmaceutical companies make billions. The Democrats get zombie voters. It's the dream. It's the ultimate dream team as they work together to rape the minds of a generation.
Hard time because I don't know if this is something that I feel like is being
She's a drug addict, by the way. All right, a lot of people don't want to call this what it is. She is a drug addict.
Talked about enough because
that's brutal. Like,
I feel like so many of us are on these meds, coming to terms with
no one I know is on these meds. I guess we hang around different people.
Having chronic depression and anxiety and things like...
Honestly,
I'm going to hit you with the truth, Nuke. Depression is obviously real. Sometimes it's biological. Sometimes you could physiologically find depression in people. So that's for sure. But I think 90+% of depression cases are literally just get the fuck off your ass and do something.
I'm going to give like maybe a hot take. I think that the overwhelming majority of these people's depression and problems are self-induced. They are exacerbated by social media, doctors, and by their lifestyles. I think that the over-medication of people that continually engage in unhealthy behaviors is a really dangerous path to go down.
If kids would not have social media until they turn 18, depression would disappear by 70 to 90%, in my opinion. All right, I just think that if that would happen, poof, you would see a massive decrease in depression just almost overnight.
Also, it's really amazing and awesome to see how many people have been on SSRIs and anti-anxiety meds for...
Again, if you're a drug addict, then you feel bad about it unless everyone else is a drug addict. So welcome to the hyper-feminized echo chamber of toxic empathy. I want everyone to be addicted to drugs.
For so long, and then it's so helpful. I have no plan on getting off of mine anytime soon, any medication.
Well, what's weird to me about it is, like, I don't know why you'd want to have to take medication for, like, presumably
then you have to admit you're wrong. All right? Women taking accountability challenge, infinite difficulty.
entire life. Where's the light at the end of this tunnel? I have probably the most regressive and stupid opinions on medical health stuff. I think that if your testosterone is really low, you should go out and cut down 5 trees. Start working out.
I'm okay with being on forever if I need to.
You want my
even
estrogen?
if I have these
Watch The View.
cycles of, oh, I'm gonna get off of it.
To play World of Warcraft.
XYZ. But yeah, this is great.
That's insane, man. You have people going and taking this medication and shit for 10 years, bro. You got spawn camp.
Kamala came into my life when I was 14. Famously a very easy time for a teenager. But no matter what, Kamala was there for me. She was patient, caring, and always took me seriously.
Her daughter's a drug addict.
Like, I feel bad for her, really. If you're going out and you're getting this medication given to you whenever you're a preteen, that's insane, man. Like, I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, look, man, this is wild, bro. This is wild. Yeah, so, dude, AOC also nuked her presidential run right now. Like, leftoid's in shambles, bro.
Okay, all right. This is going to be amazing.
There's a certain level of wealth and accumulation that is unearned, right? You can't.
What the fuck does that even mean? What does that mean, unearned? It was earned by someone. Obviously, no one gave it to them. They inherited it. So then their father earned it.
You can't earn $1 billion.
Yes, you can.
That's right.
Elon Musk literally earned billions of dollars. He came from like nothing. Right? What are we even talking about?
Just can't earn that.
Not a lot of people could do it. Otherwise, it would be worth nothing to be a billionaire. Although, if everyone's a billionaire, then billionaire is not a special status, right? She's just basically taking the 0.0001% and saying that you can't earn that. Except, obviously, you fucking can. And this is an obvious pander to the social retards in society that don't want to actually believe in accountability at all. It's like, oh, I'm not poor because I refuse to get a job and I'm lazy and retarded. I'm poor because the billionaires didn't earn it and they have it somehow. Like, this is insane. You know who doesn't earn shit? Literally anyone under communism. They don't earn fuck all.
Exactly correct.
What does that
You
mean?
can get market power.
Like, the problem is that this is the issue that these people have. You're basically relying just purely on people that already agree with you, like the person that's interviewing you, to be like, ah, yes, yes. What does earn even mean? If you make something that's like patented and then you sell it to a company and the company pays you $1 billion for it, did you earn it?
Yeah,
where's the logic here? Like, what does this mean?
Yep. You can pay people.
Leftists say words to control you. They don't say words because they believe them or because they're true. The moment you understand that, the moment you actually unlock understanding into social politics to such a deep level, and it's so sad that people aren't willing to engage with that.
Less than
like
what
anyone that's like, what do you mean by this? This is illogical. It's like, oh, you fell into the trap of thinking that leftists believe the words that they use?
They're worth?
Yep.
You mean like how they do with illegal aliens that you're fighting to keep inside the country tooth and nail?
True! Straight facts! Old
That's a
man
big
W.
problem. Ooh.
But you can't earn that, right?
That's
And
right.
so you have to create a myth. Since you didn't earn that, you have to create a myth
this even
of
mean?
earning it.
Like, she is building logical fallacies on top of her logical fallacies.
It gets way worse after this? Wait, really?
You have to be more profitable and more profitable and more profitable.
Yeah,
it's not enough to
you're
be
right.
a profitable business. And so once they've rounded
Businesses should try to make money. Nuclear take. Wow, that's crazy.
up every person in this country, who do you think is next?
Rounding up every person? Dog, we only rounding up the illegals, hopefully. Hopefully, bro. We got to put them on trebuchets. We are going to be launching them across the ocean. And it'll be awesome, actually. And then when people cry, we'll say, well, why didn't you self-deport? And then they'll say, well, I didn't self-deport because I thought I wouldn't get caught. And I will say, well, that fucking sucks, doesn't it? Again, the ultimate solution, I suggest you cry about it.
This is the thing about, I said,
What a segue. So yeah, they just want to keep making more money. And so what do you think's going to happen after they round everybody up? What a, holy.
Everything is everything. Again, I've made this analogy so many times. The leftoid mind, which is a hyper-feminized mind, just to understand, that is where it is, all right? Just logically, the majority of women vote left and the majority of men vote right. That's just a statistical fact. So the leftoid mind is a more feminized mind. It is a highly emotional ball of yarn. Imagine this. Imagine a giant ball of yarn, and the moment you pull the thread, it actually moves the threads everywhere on the entire ball of yarn. And that is how the emotional manipulation works. All right, billionaires and illegal immigration and abortion rights for women to murder their own children. It is all the same thing. It's the same emotional response. And the moment you wiggle one little part of that thread, the entire thread wiggles too. So all the issues are the same issue, actually. And this is how they work. It's a giant emotionally manipulating, gaslighting movement to manipulate people.
Before, like as
genocidal frameworks. What?
Growing up as a Jew, as a minority, where I grew up, and going to Hebrew school and learning
a woke Jew, the bane of civilization.
Learning about the Holocaust, I was like, holy shit! Like this is crazy. It was.
What are we fucking doing here? It's like billionaires shouldn't earn what they do, and we're deporting illegal aliens. And it's like, yo, I was learning about the Holocaust, bro. The Jews were not illegal aliens in Germany, or in Poland, or in Russia, where they were massacred. Okay, the Jews were not illegal aliens. The point is, the Jews have lived there for hundreds of years. And then all of a sudden shit happened. That is not what's happening in America at all, bro.
Wasn't taught in school. But,
wait, you think that we didn't learn about the Holocaust?
You know, the way that I've come to understand.
It's the most obvious virtue signal ever. It's crazy. Man, I hate when people pull up the Holocaust for like free Jew points. It's honestly diabolical.
This system is that like there's a spectrum of true democracy, which, like you said, Black people and Black Americans in this country have been building since they were, captured and brought here.
Really a democracy.
Captured by other Black people, by other African warlords that sold them into slavery to Jewish and European slave traders. Just important to keep in mind.
Until 1963, 1965.
That's exactly right.
Voting rights and civil rights. We were apartheid. Before that.
Apartheid is the new buzzword. Everything's apartheid. Everything's genocide.
That's exactly right.
Apartheid?
Right. It's 70 years old.
Is this the new word that they're...
Oh, the system, 80 years old.
Black Americans really created democracy.
Bro, these people are like actually retarded. Like, these people are actually retarded. It's like, we can just make up Black history now, I guess. Let's fucking go.
Country. That's exactly right.
They literally...
That's exactly right.
They made something from nothing.
They got rights because white people gave them rights. All right? I'm not saying good, bad. This is an objective fact. White people gave rights to Black people. Right? What are we talking about here?
It is just beyond me.
It's like there's a true democracy and fascism, and it's just about the dials, these genocidal frameworks. And
none of these people even know what fascism means. Oh my, this is literally buzzword soup.
Just turning the dials up on trans people. They're turning the dial up on the genocidal framework.
What the fuck does fascism have to do with trans people?
What does democracy have to do with being trans? What the fuck?
These people are like right actually retarded. This is the ball of yarn theory. Again, it's just proven every time. It's like you tug one little emotional spot of the ball of yarn, and the whole string is all actually interconnected, and the entire ball of yarn wriggles. All right, it's apartheid and genocidal framework and trans people and Black Lives Matter and slavery, and it all wiggles at the same time.
Is being turned up, specifically Latino immigrants, but immigrants of color. And
no, it's about illegal aliens.
It has nothing to do with Latino immigrants, bro. It has to do with people that invaded our country illegally, and they're all going to go. Right? And that is why strong men need to take power, because the most terrifying thing that could happen to society is if strong women take power. I don't even want to think about that.
This is what these people do. They make an effort to launder the good reputation of legal immigrants that come to America and want to improve their lives and improve America.
This is how every single leftist movement works, by the way. This isn't a one case here. It's like they ruined the reputation of legal immigrants by saying that Trump is just going out there just rounding up every immigrant he can find. Every brown person has to go. All right, by making believe that that's Trump's policy, you are laundering the reputation of the legal immigrants that came into our country legally, and you're going to make people hate them. All right, and it's the same thing with all of these cases. Saying that the police are the problem because they arrest Black people at overrepresentative rates. Well, yeah, it's because Black people commit crimes at overrepresentative rates. That's a fact. Now, you can't argue with the fact, but every time you actually do this, you have to villainize police officers. The Me Too movement, basically everyone that accuses someone of rape immediately ruins their life, immediately on the spot with almost no consequences for the false accuser. But that basically will make no one believe women anymore when women claim that they've been raped. which is happening, by the way. For better or for worse, people don't take rape allegations nearly as seriously as they did a decade ago. You ruin every movement because of your terminologies and your bullshit.
In the process. There are many of them that do that. Why are you laundering illegal aliens through their good reputation? Why are you intentionally misunderstanding and misstating this?
About the Holocaust, about a Christian...
I've never seen so many buzzwords put together at the same...
Deporting illegal immigrants, transgenders, and the Holocaust. 3 things that have all that are happening in America right now.
Same time. I feel like I'm looking at a YouTube video's taglines.
Religious leader who was in a concentration camp was like, first they came for the Jews, then they came for and then they came for me. And you know, I think the story that's
first they came for the illegal aliens, then they came for the rapists, then they came for the shoplifters, and then all the problems went away.
There
so
it
they
is.
stopped coming
Let's
for people.
go.
Look at El Salvador. This is a total fantasy.
I think it is turning inside out. I do think mainstream audiences are understanding what's happening because every click, every scroll, every like.
No, they're not. This video only has 3,000 views.
So
that's really bad. Some of the dumbest quotes I've ever heard are throughout this interview. Black Americans really created democracy. Every comment is negative. Everybody thinks these people are retarded. So embarrassing, man. And the 3,000 viewers are promised 3,000 years ago. I mean, it's so stupid and embarrassing.
It is absolutely miserable, dude. And that's why they keep losing, because they're fucking retards. And you will not believe what is happening in the governor race in California and the mayoral race in California, because it looks like California is turning blue, and it's insane. I mean, turning red, rather, and it's actually crazy. The election for the California governor is going on right now, and it currently, for the first time ever, it looks like we're going to have a Republican as the governor of California. So people are just so tired of like all this garbage. You know, Tom Homan shows up. He's like, we are never giving amnesty to illegal aliens. They will never become citizens. They all have to go. And this is resonating with people.
Something to the effect of there are cabinet members talking to the president about that. I believe I've characterized that exchange accurately. Correct me if I'm wrong. But what I'm curious about is what you mean. Are there people in the cabinet advocating for amnesty?
You characterize talking points are taken out of context. That interview, we opened the interview when we're talking about policies, talking about where do we go from here, right? Because President Trump did executive orders, had the most secure border ever in Trump 45. President Biden came in, undid it all through executive order. Yeah. President Trump came back in through executive order. Now we have the most secure border ever in history of this nation. Yeah. My first comment was, we need congressional action to solidify this and enshrine this into law. So the next president doesn't come in and undo it all again through executive order. Facts. When we're talking about the non-criminal people being there ever, I said discussions are ongoing all the time. For instance, just recently there's been discussion about the Dignified Act that some members of Congress are pushing. There's always conversations going on, but let me tell you this, and I mean this. President Trump's been clear from day one. Amnesty's off the table.
Amnesty is off the table, and this is resonating with people. We don't want to bring people in for the third world by the droves, give them amnesty. Now they get vote in our elections. They vote for the biggest retards on the goddamn planet. All right, and we don't want to play with this. We don't want to deal with this, and it looks like people are tired of it. You know, it's like you got these people being like, here's why everyone's jealous of Indian people.
Why is everyone just jealous of us Indians? Is it because we work 10 times harder than everybody else? Or is it because every time something breaks, you end up calling one of us? Is it because
we call the company and one of you answer it? That's very different than calling.
A doctor, pharmacist, or engineer probably has an Indian name? Or is it because we'll turn one opportunity into 5? Is it because our parents didn't really give us a plan B? Or is it because we'll show up to anything with the whole family like it's a wedding? Or is it because we'll argue over $5 like it's a business deal? Or is it because we'll eat the spiciest food and still say it's not spicy at all?
Yeah, this might be the biggest cope I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not gonna lie, and no one's for it. No one is for it. Now, the bubble is bursting. The left is realizing that leftist policies are digging them into an infinite hole. And I'm going to show you what's going on with the governor debate in a second, because it looks like we're going to get a Republican governor in California. But just understand what the average libtard is dealing with right now.
What is this here? Single era crash out.
You guys do not understand. So I'm 25, right? I'm sitting here and I'm having to build a fucking roster. I'm having to sit here and go out and do things I don't want to do. I don't want a roster. I don't want to go out and date. I don't like this hookup culture. I don't like any of it. But I feel like I don't have a choice.
That really sucks, man. You know who voted for all that?
Yeah.
Men, you guys just get to sit there and you guys can go wait until you're in your 30s, you're almost 40, and you can just go get with a girl that's in her fucking 20s and live a normal life.
That's right. That's right. If you have a successful guy, I don't think he wants to date someone who has 47 college degrees in absolute bullshit and retardedness, all right, to be there and feel like they are entitled to the entire world. No, I think someone would rather marry someone in their 20s that actually could have children, you know, and isn't dominated by this ideological bitchiness that exists so much in modern Western culture. That's right. That is correct. Everything that you are doing in your life is literally digging your own grave in the dating market. You know, the thing that actually matters, building a family.
Girls don't have that luxury. I'm now sitting here at 25 having to figure out how the fuck to get back in these fucking streets so I can figure out, so 10 years down the line, I'm not sitting there single still.
And this is terrifying a lot of people.
With my daughter being an only child. Like, I want
So you a hoe? Listen, maybe she was married and she's a loving, religious, very God-minded person who was married and you know, obviously, and the husband abandoned her or something. Look, that's a possibility. I ain't gonna make fun. But if you a hoe, then you are literally doing this to yourself. All right, if you are a 25-year-old virtuous woman in the United States of America that's, you know, relatively attractive, you would not have this issue necessarily. You know what? You can get your ass up and go to church. All right, literally. But nope, you decided you wanted a retard degree. You hoed around, you have a kid, and life's slipping away.
to have a family. I want to have kids. I want to be happy.
Is that bad?
Like, I want all of these things.
Right?
But people don't want that nowadays, it feels.
I mean, she's absolutely, men do want that nowadays, but men just don't trust a lot of the people that seem to be approaching them for very obvious reasons. All right, do you expect this woman to be faithful to you in modern society if she's obviously a non-virtuous hoe? All right, if she has a history in being a hoe, why would you trust her? I'll be real here. And then they'll get married, and then they'll divorce you and take half your shit. You know, this is and your kids, because the judges all side with women almost all the time. Like, are you really gonna trust that from someone who has, especially from someone who has a history, a literal history that's sus as fuck?
Right. If you are a single mother, you have just initiated hard mode.
True.
And I know, you know, maybe your husband got hit by a bus.
That's what
it's
I
just
said.
a horrible thing.
Maybe he abandoned her or something. And in that case, that's absolutely tragic. But if that's not the scenario, then it's your life choices that led you to this lifestyle, you know?
Reality is that a lot of people
Yep, he's right.
have kids with people that they shouldn't have had kids with. And listen, a lot of guys don't want to play another guy's saved file.
Just to make sure she wasn't speaking metaphorically about being a single mother in her future. I went to check and nope, she is 100% serious.
Why did you break up with this person after having a kid with them? Are you a big problem? What if the kid's dad is like, you know, a problem? You now are going to have an infinitely harder time finding anybody that doesn't just want to hook up with you for a night. The moment that like a girl has a kid, nope.
It's like, it's disgusting. Like, my friends helped me make a Hinge and a Tinder, and it's like, I hated it. I hate it. I ended up deleting my Hinge.
It's heartbreaking. It's almost like following a biblical lifestyle is just literally going to give you the best life. Obviously, this isn't going to work for literally everybody. You know, divorce is actually in the Bible, in the Old Testament. It talks about divorce. But in the majority of cases, you just follow the word of God, and things just seem to work out, it seems. Yes, the best lifestyle is actually getting married, probably in your young 20s, and staying married, and having children, and being virtuous, and respecting your husband, and he will love you in return. Yes, shit's hard, and yes, this is an issue created by the libtards, by largely, you know, liberal white women have created the society that they all hate so much. And the rebellion is fucking here. So, this is the government debate, the governor debate in California, and it's just cinema.
So we don't have crazy cowboys taking the law into their own hands.
That's the libtard, by the way. Katie Porter, she's running for governor on the libtard side.
Crazy mother who lost her child. Sir, I don't need any lectures from you about being a mother. Of course, you might. Okay.
I didn't see that. No. So she was abusive to her husband, by the way, who left her with 3 kids. Right? See, that's a reason to get divorced. If your wife is a nasty bitch that's beating you all the time, that's a reason to get divorced.
Voters campaign is going so horrendously, I honestly believe it's secretly a prank run by people who hate her.
God.
As California's gubernatorial debates just proved, she can't escape her Karen instincts.
A video surfaced of her berating a member of her staff. If a senior official in your government acted as she did in those videos, would you fire them?
Yes.
And you've put out an ad of your own, now making light of that interaction that you had with your
That's not
staffer,
correct, Caitlin.
which you said you apologized for.
That is not correct. The ad is about showing Californians what they've had a chance to see.
As this is the clip in question.
And the state could lose. Get out of my shot.
And this is the ad.
I'm not like most people who run for governor. I actually get what you're going through. A single mom of 3 kids, I know what it's like to push the shopping cart.
Single mom because she got divorced because she was abusive to her husband, by the way.
My minivan has almost 200,000 miles. I have a grown kid who may soon be living on my couch.
My child is a useless retard. Please vote for me.
Her campaign angle is actually, my own son is a fucking loser. That's why I should be governor.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is the libtard lifestyle. Libtard utopia, ladies and gentlemen. It sucks, actually.
It's going to take standing up to Donald Trump, calling out greedy corporations, and stepping on some toes along the way. Now, could you guys please get out of my shot?
She's trying to...
See, that's a funny callback to when she was screaming at one of her employees.
Reframe how much of a raging Karen she is, when all it really does is bring up how she has absolutely zero to offer other than sassy slogans and fighting Trump. As Democrats in California have already been doing that for over a decade now, and the state has never looked worse. But Katie's abrasive attitude just proves, at even the slightest amount of frustration, she loses it.
Californians can decide for themselves about my temperament based on what they've seen here tonight. And if these boys bullying and bickering
boys are bullying me
hasn't been enough to raise questions about their temperament, not one of these men have said in this entire campaign, I've made a mistake. Not for not being able to account for undocumented...
You literally got divorced for being an abusive partner. Like, what do you mean? That's pretty bad.
Children who wound up in child labor? You called that MAGA talking points and a hoax, Mr. Becerra. You, like, I could go down the line. I don't even want to waste my time on this. I just want to say to California, I have taken responsibility. I have shown that. And what that ad is about, Caitlin, is about showing that I can laugh at myself.
Wow.
Yes.
That's the most important quality for a governor. Someone who's a gigantic, bitching, retarded, violent, abusive Karen, but she can make fun of herself. Let's go! The libtard lifestyle.
Except my bad actions.
Yeah, I'm miserably alone and I have useless, pathetic children, but hey, at least I can laugh at myself.
And I've already forgiven myself, so let's just laugh away the alleged scalding mashed potato situation with her ex-husband, which actually explains the whole single mom mess. Actually, this whole debate explains how devoid of charisma she is.
I can't believe that on a stage with 30 minutes of interrupting and bickering and name-calling and shouting and disrespect.
This is after years of calling Trump Orange Hitler, by the way.
Everyone up here who's stepping into public service, that anyone wants to talk about my temperament.
You were actually interrupting them.
She just spent the entire time talking about how good she is. I am just the best ever.
I don't know why you want to act like you weren't.
Oh, cowboy
Steve and I sat here smiling at each other because we're just watching you all prove to everyone why they can't vote for a Democrat.
True.
Katie really thinks treating people like an abused assistant is gonna win over voters, when no, everybody knows a boss, teacher, co-worker, or raging Karen at a restaurant that acts exactly like Katie.
She
and would never
is exactly the caricature of the miserable libtard that has ruined our society.
Fully put her in a position of power over ourselves as governor, but personality aside,
imagine putting a woman in. I'm sorry, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm on YouTube.
she's actually an idiot, as her campaign promises would ruin us.
Congresswoman Porter, your thoughts on the idea of funding health care for undocumented immigrants statewide?
Yes.
Bro, that's
Yes,
that's
and to
insane.
And that's, by the way, what I think Californians
Traitor.
deserve as answers to these questions, Alex.
And for critics who
Yes.
say that we
She's openly stating that
Yes, I will take your tax dollars and give them to people that invaded our country illegally. It's like, she thinks that this is like a partisan issue. No one that has a job wants this. It's only the communists that are interested in something like this because they've convinced themselves that they're just going to eat the rich and take all their money and redistribute it to people. And then they'll worry about, you know, the tyrannical government that follows. You know, like this only works for like the commie retards.
California's taxpayers should pay for the health care of everybody. Actually deserves to pay,
they're so
as if
cooked.
it's some sort of
Like,
punishment.
she let the woke Twitter talking points take over, and the average human is not interested at all.
For being her tax cattle. It wasn't even an argument of humanity, it was the smugness of entitlement. As she repeatedly
Yes, we are entitled to your money, yes.
said the quiet part loudly.
The sanctuary state policy is designed to make sure that our state resources, the taxpayer dollars, the public servants that we have, are focusing on doing their jobs.
Why would you ever live there? Why would you ever live in a state where your tax dollars are not going to your benefit at all? Like, that's the point of tax, right? The point of tax is, well, we need to give X amount to the government for us, you know, so that they can have a military that protects us, so that they can fund hospitals or whatever that helps us, so that they can pave roads that we need to drive on. That's the argument for taxes, that there is some sort of equivalent exchange to some degree. Obviously, it's bullshit, and we need to abolish taxes entirely, because that shit sucks. But, you know, I think we shouldn't have more than a 10% tax. That's insane. But because obviously the government is so busy wasting our money on bullshit. But, like, why? What argument could you possibly make that our tax dollars should be funding people that invaded our country illegally, that should not be here, that are not contributing tax-wise, largely? Like, why on earth should we be paying for that?
Which is not cooperating with the federal immigration authorities. These are Californians. They contribute to our economy. They pay taxes, and they're one of the only ways that our state has been growing in recent years.
Openly
Quiet part out loud. We're only growing because of illegal aliens.
admitting that U.S. citizens are escaping the state in such large numbers that it can only be offset with wide open borders with promises of endless free gifts from your taxes. And that's after California already lost a congressional seat in 2021 for the first time ever, and is predicted to lose another 5 seats due to Democrat mismanagement. California is a literal paradise on Earth. The Democrats turned into a zombie apocalypse, also they could line their pockets through the homeless industrial complex.
Yeah, we might be getting a Republican governor of California. I can't believe it, dude.
As Katie wasn't the only idiot that would perpetuate endless spending on illegals.
On the question of health care for the undocumented, I said
everybody in California
So you would
has a right to health care. And let's answer this out.
California should fund that.
The truth of the matter is, immigrants built this state. Immigrants make this state run.
These people are
The fact of the
insane.
matter is, we had a broken immigration system.
There's a difference between illegal aliens and migrants that came legally. Like, there is such an obvious difference, and they muddy the waters as much as they possibly can because the left uses words to lie to you. They don't believe in any of the things they say.
And now you want to victimize the people who are working here and making the state run.
Thank you,
As
sir.
Antonio said, try and get rid of them. You can't do it.
Let's go to
Saying try to get rid of them,
Try to
you
get
can't
rid
do
of
it when I'm pretty certain ICE has deported over 1,000 a day with a reported 2 million self-removals
Not
since
enough.
Trump has taken office. And when Democrats tried to stop ICE from entering sanctuary cities like Los Angeles, once they looked into the funding of the riots and marched in the Marines, if anything, ICE activity in the city has only increased, as immigration is something they might have won with in 2021, but now even the Democrats are attacking each other over this.
Using Trump lies to try to damage your opponents is worse. And that's what we see happening. Everyone knows that Trump campaigned in 2024 talking about lost kids when there were no such thing as lost kids.
The Democrats, the party of sex trafficking. Never let them forget this.
To hear these candidates now talk about that, if they're so concerned, why haven't they taken any action to find these lost kids?
They saved like 200,000 children under Trump so far. What are you talking about?
As the New York Times reported, 85,000 kids were now missing under Biden. Now he did try to explain it.
With the unaccompanied migrant kids and where we stand,
So he admitted it before in Congress, and now he's walking it back for some sort of political gain? Oh my God!
I've never heard that number of 85,000. I don't know where it comes from, and so I can't attest. I would say it doesn't sound at all to be realistic. And what we do is we try to follow up as best we can with these kids.
You gotta get rid of these people.
Congress has given us certain authorities. Our authorities essentially end the moment we have found a suitable sponsor to place that child with. We try to do some follow-up, but neither the child or the sponsor is actually obligated to follow up with us.
But even hyper-left outlets reported on the migrant kids being forced into brutal labor under Biden, where children sealed cereal boxes every 10 seconds on dangerous assembly lines after coming into the country to meet a relative she never met. So when faced with this terrifying reality that they created and actually acknowledged, they now simply deny or call it a MAGA lie, while hiding behind, well, we don't have the power to follow up with that many people, conveniently forgetting the legal process of immigration would prevent all of this. And it isn't even a one-off story, as even 9 months ago, ICE conducted an immigration raid on a California platform, finding over 10 accompanied kids working on that platform. But apparently, that's just an acceptable sacrifice, as open borders...
The left is the party of child trafficking.
This is basically the only way
It's
the
the party of
Democrats
child
can retain
trafficking
power.
and indentured servitude and slave labor and cattle voting. That is how the left operates. It is unbelievable that it was able to get away with this for so long, with people just not knowing what's happening.
Federally, but at least California does have some hope, as Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco knows exactly what's happening with immigration.
6 of the people here don't even know who deports anyone. They just want emotions to rule the day, so you support them because they don't even know
this is the one Republican candidate.
What the governor can and can't do. Or if they do, they're lying to you.
Something he's warned about several times before.
In 2017, that's when California became a sanctuary state, we absolutely told the law enforcement, told the people voting on it, this is what's going to happen if you do this. ICE is going to have to go into communities to find these people because they're criminals. They're victimizing us.
That's right.
Right now, they just come into the jail in the safety of a jail. Nobody knows it's happening, and they just deport them. If you make this law, ICE is going to have to go into the streets, and this is what you're going to have. That's where grandma's going to get taken away because they're going to go look for grandson, and grandson's going to be who's robbing people blind, and he's going to be in the house with grandma. Grandma's there illegally.
Get her too.
Well, they're not going to just let grandma stay
Get her out.
because she's here illegally. Democrats purposely, knowingly made sanctuary states and cities to force ICE on the ground so they could create this.
It's basically the only thing the left has anymore. Create an issue.
Honestly insane. I never even looked at it from that perspective. So ICE is basically would have just deported the people in the prisons, but the Democrats made sure to put them on the streets so that ICE could go after people in the streets. So it would also round up other people that would anger people in the community. Literally, the reason why they're emptying out their prisons is to create an emotional issue about ICE deporting illegals so that the people could rise up and demonstrate against ICE. It's literally a propaganda move for these people. It's honestly insane. Like, they don't even care about the illegals getting deported. They are using them as bait to fund their violent insurrections against Trump for political talking points. Oh my God.
In campaign on fixing said issue.
When you expect they don't go lower, bro.
Did it with ICE the same way with fuel prices. Jack up the taxes and fees on gas while banning its production, then campaign on fighting Trump and his evil increases on gas prices.
Yeah, that one ain't
And if
bad.
anybody points out their objective failures with our tax dollars, they
these
just
people are
shamelessly
insufferable.
ask for more. Just like with their now $200 billion with a B high-speed rail failure.
It'll cost another $30 billion to finish California high-speed rail from Merced to Bakersfield. We've got the viaduct laid. We have overpasses. Do you finish it? Yes or no? Mayor Villaraigosa.
Yes.
Congresswoman Porter.
Yes, if you can build it faster and cheaper than it's been projected.
Okay, Sheriff Bianco.
No, I would rather arrest the people that stole our money.
All right.
That's my guy. That's my guy right there. That's the GOAT. Absolutely.
On brand for you doing things that are illegal.
No, stop spending taxpayers' money on pointless things and improve our roads, which are the worst in the country because of Democrat policies.
Mr. Stein.
Oh, these are the 2 Republicans, and these are the 5 Democrats running for governor.
Yes, we need Secretary of Transportation.
The slow-speed delivery of high-speed rail, no, but a high-speed delivery of high-speed rail, yes.
What does that mean?
No, I love how leftists are you going to continue, yes or no? Yes, but we do it good this time instead of bad.
Sheriff Bianco just set the standard with, we should arrest anybody involved in this fraud.
That's right.
But if the Democrats refuse to follow suit, it's probably because they're planning on getting in on it too.
Absolutely.
As they are treating this like
Dude, they spent $200 billion on this thing that doesn't exist. Where did the money go? I want to vote for the guy that'll put the people that did that shit in jail. Absolutely.
Manufacturing infrastructure, they're treating it like manufacturing meaningless jobs. And everybody wants unemployment to go down, so of course they can skim off the side, since nobody wants to be the guy making mass layoffs. So right now, I'm hoping Sheriff Chad Bianco wins the primary.
That
with
is
Steve
insane, man. That is crazy. We might be getting a Republican governor of California. This only exists because the left is so fucking retarded. They're pushing everyone away because they're actual retards. Now, it looks like we might be getting a Republican mayor of Los Angeles. All right, not only are the Republicans actually dominating in the governor race, but the mayoral race too. This is insane. So this was a massive story. 300 agents just raided Los Angeles's drug park. Fentanyl haul shocks everyone. 19 kilos was seized. That's enough to wipe out a city, by the way. All right. Karen Bass, the current mayor of LA, who basically let the entire city burn down to the ground under the fires because she cares about the smelt fish, so she didn't want to use water to put out fires. That's right, LA, the only place on the planet that has more genders than fire hydrants that actually had water in them. All right, so she is getting absolutely obliterated right now. But first, you have to understand why leftist policy is pushing literally everyone against the left. All right, so this will radicalize an entire generation. This is LA policy. And then I'm going to show you the LA race where it looks like we're going to be getting a Republican mayor in Los Angeles. I literally can't believe this is happening. Like, everyone's flipping because the left is so fucking retarded.
So what is this? Is someone asked him to turn the speaker down? Who's it?
Gotta be kidding me, boy. This motherfucker got his headphones on. He told me to put my speaker down. And he got his motherfucking headphones on. You out your mind, my man.
Just why do you have to listen to the speaker?
I want to cut you. So shut your fucking mouth then. So shut your mouth then. Mind your business, you bitch. Why you have to jump out there?
Bro, ain't nobody wants to live like this.
You got headphones on.
He's literally just trying to read a book. Just trying to read.
Bitch. What, you think I was a punk or something? Yeah, that's the best thing you better do. Move, you bitch ass mother.
Remember what I said before about how, like, anybody that has this crash out over being perceived of being disrespected, just lock them up. Just institutionalize them immediately.
That dude is definitely has a rap sheet. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do.
Uh-huh.
That's what you better do. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want no drama with me, motherfucker. I'll cut your face open.
Yep.
Are you
get him out. We don't need to play this
you
game.
You gonna tell me to put my speaker
But
down?
if I call this guy a monkey, I'm racist. Do you understand how unfair society is?
Isn't it crazy how easy this problem would be to solve? And we don't do it.
I'll cut your
We have a button, the fix everything easily button, and we refuse to push the fucking button. All right, and this is what society looks like, especially in places like LA. And when you look at the people that are doing their absolute best to manipulate us, all right, and yes, I mean like the actors, the actresses, the Hollywood people, right? But this is them. They're also complete freaks.
50-year-old actress Charlize Theron, her biggest ick is when a guy wants to make love to her and reveals that it causes her to get instantly turned off. Wait, what?
So yeah, no one wants to do this.
So what's
man.
your take?
When you want to be with the upper class people, complete fucking freaks, or you want to be with the lower class people? They will rip your face off and not go to jail for it.
Whenever a guy says, I would like to make love to you,
it's an ick.
you don't get that that's an ick? Just the dry heave? There's a lot to unpack, but actually there isn't. It's just very simple. Don't fucking say it.
Don't say love making.
Because my vagina closes up.
Okay.
Why don't these people... Based?
What? Who said that?
It's true.
Somebody's shocked.
All the ladies know what I'm talking about.
What is it about the word lovemaking that is such a turnoff?
I don't want you to make anything with me. I want you to do something with me. Yeah, let's...
Women be like, we need a consent to every single move you make, even after we're already in a relationship. Also, women be like, I just want you to fucking take me. That's right. Ultimately, they want men. All right, and after a generation of doing their best to emasculate men, they're like, holy shit, we have no men anymore. The only actual men out there are the ones that are, you know, married, largely religious, traditional men that don't actually want to sleep around with every whore on the street.
do it. Like, well, don't say that either. That's fucking lame. Just fuck me. Don't talk.
This is the thing, like, so this is why everything is so confusing for guys. You hear this really pretty lady who's an actress say, don't ask this, just do it. But then if you don't say anything, you aren't obtaining consent. So you should also have to get consent. It's like you don't even really know what you want. So how can you expect somebody else to?
I know.
Because ultimately men should be the ultimate decision makers in society. And inherently, women actually want that. Women ultimately want strong men in their life. Women want strong men to lead their country. That's what they want. However, they are manipulated and groomed into thinking that actually that means that they're weak and less. So on the low rungs of society, you have this fucking shit that you have to live with. In the high rungs of society, you have this fucking shit that you have to live with. And LA looks like it's going to be electing a Republican mayor right now.
This is a MAGA Republicans' idea of what Los Angeles looks like. This is
good.
Really not.
Spencer Pratt is a man on a mission. As after Mayor Bass allowed his house to be burned down, this isn't so much a campaign for mayor.
This is so fucking based. He's like, your policy burnt my house down, and I am going to burn down your career. That's my guy.
As it's a revenge tour. As at LA's debate for mayor, Spencer went right into Bass's failures during the arson fires.
So fucking awesome. God, you know, strong men. Strong men build society and civilization, and strong men are going to save our country.
That burned down the city.
To the Mayor Karen Bass's, the 1,000 firefighters that were available, but there was no engines for them because of the $17 million that Chief Crowley had asked the mayor for 9 weeks before, and Mayor Karen Bass denied it.
This is a nice way of him to say you were a useless, pathetic bitch.
She drained both of these reservoirs that these firefighters needed. The winds in the Pacific Palisades never reached higher than 40 miles per hour.
This is the GOAT. This is like the GOAT. This guy's John Wicking all of Los Angeles right now, and he's winning.
6 hours, they didn't go above 27 miles per hour. He's saying several things that are completely inaccurate. First of all, there was one reservoir that was out of commission. So the winds reached close to 100 miles an hour.
Actually, only half the water was missing, not all the water.
And the planes were unable to fly. So if there were reservoirs, if that reservoir had been open, it would not have worked. She's an incredible liar. Everyone on their phones, Google it. 40 weather stations in the Pacific Palisades. It never went above 40 miles per hour. She is referencing the Altadena fire.
I have to interrupt you.
Now, of course, the moderator...
I have to interrupt you. There's no way that we're going to have a libtard lose an election in Los Angeles.
Will step in to assist the establishment candidate, but it just highlights how desperate they are to dispel
By the way, this is democracy. All right, every leftoid screams about democracy. Democracy is when the civilian is like, I'm fucking tired of this shit, and rallies the other civilians behind him and overthrows the establishment. That is true democracy. And this moderator, this allegedly neutral party, interrupting him to run defense for the establishment candidate, that is a threat to democracy. And no one wants to talk about it, but the threats to democracy all come from the left. The people that import infinite retards, the ones that don't want fair elections, the ones that aren't pushing against voter ID, those are the anti-democracy people. It's not the Republicans.
truth, as we covered their lies in depth back in 2025, when Mayor Trash came back from Ghana and basically refused to answer any questions. Even Fox News tried to cover for her.
You gotta have water, and my understanding is the reservoir was not refilled in time.
That's right.
And in a timely manner to keep the hydrants going.
Despite what you have heard from Caruso, no firefighters have told us that they are running out of water.
And let's go out to Gigi Graciette. She is live in Pacific Palisades.
Well, firefighters have told me they have no water on this block, and you may be...
No matter how...
Leftists be like, there's no reports that they're out of water. Let's talk to the person on the ground. Person on the ground, they're out of water.
How much you hate the mainstream media, you don't hate them enough. And even when CNN admitted it, they framed it as the homeowner's fault.
And those water tanks ran dry. Part of the problem is a lot of people are using hoses, trying to understandably hose down their lawn.
You are fucking kidding me. A guy used a hose, and you're like, ah, that's why we're out of water in this fucking city. A guy used a hose. A guy used a hose because his house was on fire, and he tried to put it out. Wow, wow.
Hoping that will
That's
stop the fire. A lot of firefighters will say, that's not going to stop a fire like this from burning down your house.
So just over a year later, Mayor Basura is gonna pretend this didn't happen. But for the people like Spencer Pratt, who actually had their homes burned down, it's not something he'd simply forget and believe Basura's revisionist history. But now, Bass's asinine campaign is saying she's the real victim.
It was one of the worst moments of my life to not be here when my city needed me.
I was the real victim of the fires that burnt down all of your houses. Because I was on vacation and I wasn't even in the country. I was the victim.
It didn't matter where I was or why
It did matter, actually, that you were not in the country as the country was burning down, yeah.
was away. To me, it reminds me of like if you're away and a family member is in an accident. But I think that I deserve a second term, and I'm going to fight for that.
So what if it's your fault that the family member was in an accident?
Because we have made significant progress in a variety of areas. For example, homelessness was going up year after year.
It's still up.
And under my watch, it is the first time we've had a decrease in street homelessness.
And let's be clear, this is also something we've covered on this channel.
I think that's a lie.
As LA only decreased homelessness because, one, they changed the parameters of who qualified as homeless.
Every single time. Crime is down. Well, we just don't consider robbery as crime anymore, and all of a sudden, crime is down. It's all right, dude.
Meaning living in your car didn't count anymore, and then they both reduced the amount of
living in your car doesn't count as homeless. They literally don't have a home. It's in the word. What are we doing?
Employees counting, and the hours they were allowed to count.
Do you feel like, based on what you're seeing, that we have an accurate count or idea of how many homeless live within the county of Los Angeles?
Oh my God.
The only numbers that got counted were the night counts, which the night counts were pretty much zeros.
Do you think overall Los is trying to keep the numbers lower?
And I think it's going to impact the mayor because she's telling people that homelessness is down.
They just lie to you. They use words to control you.
But based on what I see on the streets, it's not down.
And as bad as this jukes the stats in itself, the real reason they could say they're ending homelessness is in LA, over 6 of them die every single day. As mayor,
huge W. We fucking culled the homeless. Homelessness is down. And all it took was us unleashing pestilence upon their camps. Huge W for LA. Let's go.
Basura's rampant drug problem has somehow been rebranded as a win for homelessness.
Bro.
But at least Spencer actually knows what's ailing Los Angeles.
All right, dude.
They are on super meth. They are on fentanyl. The DEA statistic says 93% of this is a drug addiction problem. Councilwoman Robbins.
That's actually true, by the way. A lot of people don't know this. Homelessness is almost always not because of financial problems and almost always because of drug addiction problems. This obviously it's not every single time, but this is a majority of cases. They'll ask homeless people, like, why are you homeless? And they'll talk about the drugs and shit.
Plan for treatment first. I will go below the Harbor Freeway tomorrow with her, and we can find some of these people she's going to offer treatment for. She's going to get stabbed in the neck. These people do not want a bed. They want fentanyl or super meth.
Yep.
These ideas cost us over $400 million to house for 70, what did you say? 3,000 people for $400 million? This is an absolute failure for both of them.
As the homeless industrial complex is real,
Bro, this
why
dude's
would the
like literally like, you burnt me down and I will burn you down.
Democrats solve any of this mass suffering in their city when they can just endlessly collect blank checks to fight it? But the only thing worse than a corrupt mayor is someone that wants to be a corrupt mayor.
Do you support the ordinance that restricts encampments in front of schools or daycare centers? Mayor Bass, I'm going to start with you. Yes or no? Ms. Rahman, yes or no?
I support keeping our streets safe. I did vote against the structure of this particular ordinance. And it is because, at its best,
it's a yes or no.
It does not keep, the way this ordinance was structured.
It's no.
It does
We'll
not keep our
no.
children.
It's hilarious to see a simple question become such a nonsensical word salad. But the sad fact is, she can't simply say no. As Spencer shows, homelessness is her cash cow.
That's right.
You know,
homelessness is a business.
Nithya, Manchurian candidate, laundered taxpayer
God,
money
I love
into
this
her
guy.
own
This guy's incredible.
Nonprofit. Well, both she and Karen Bass.
I love how his entire campaign is just purely driven on pure and utter rage and spite, and it's fucking working.
Would love for you to forget the Shelby fraud when developer Stephen Taylor bought a property for $11 million, and then just a few weeks later, he was able to flip it to an LA homeless nonprofit for $27.3 billion.
That's the scam.
Karen Basura apparently even called the developer personally begging for the property. And despite the developer being arrested and an ongoing federal investigation, Manchurian and the LA City Council still support the project.
It's like these shady politicians don't see their citizens' problems as issues to fix, but opportunities to make themselves rich. As the primary, if not only reason I moved out of Los Angeles 2 years ago was the continuous rampant rise in crime. While Spencer wants to spend money to solve it.
What is your strategy for getting more people, recruiting more officers and paying for them?
First off, I'm going to bring hiring back to the LAPD. Right now, the LAPD is hired by the same people that hire sanitation, and we need to bring it back like it was 20 plus years ago. This idea that Councilwoman Rahman keeps saying that the police department is overfunded, public safety should be our #1 priority.
Rahman wants to sell you some silly socialist fantasy.
The safety of people in Los Angeles is...
I love how we import foreigners and they literally only fucking have campaigns that benefit foreigners. But not the actual, native population that's getting stabbed. And by native population, I obviously mean the white Europeans that built the country. That's the natives. So that's a Native American. And the foreigners, they come in, like for the people from, India or Pakistan or whatever the fuck, wherever Nguyen Ramen here is from. And she's going to be pushing this shit. Sorry, man. Sorry. No, we don't want you to be running defense for the illegals. And we actually do want to be protecting the natives. This is crazy.
Absolutely essential. But that's why I think we have
We're going to hire social workers to stop the fucking drug addict terrorists.
Start getting honest with people about how we're actually going to respond. So many calls that are coming into LAPD do not require armed officer response.
The whole defund the police and replace them with social workers has never worked, especially in the same city that already tried it. They replaced the actual police with these unarmed Metro ambassadors who just sit there and watch as you get assaulted. Their colorful outfits just make them look like rodeo clowns watching us get tossed around by the criminals they refuse to do anything about. But keep in mind, Rahman is a city council member who just unanimously voted to stop LAPD from making traffic stops based on what they consider minor violations.
That is fucking insane. These people should get rounded up, bro. What are we doing?
Meanwhile, using high-tech, expensive cameras to automatically ticket law-abiding drivers. It's this common theme they constantly repeat. Refuse to enforce any law.
Infinite tickets for the natives to fund the retards and criminals.
On the EBT tribes, meanwhile finding dystopian measures on how to fine and tax anybody dumb enough to still follow the rules. But when someone comes in to actually enforce a law and protect the citizens, Mayor Basura wants to take credit.
Who ordered this operation with the feds? Is it a sign that our communities are not safe?
No, actually, that operation was ordered by the feds. However, we have been working in collaboration because we were very well aware of the drug dealing that was taking place there. We have used a comprehensive approach when it comes to MacArthur Park. Multiple things are needed. And so what happened a couple of hours ago was an action that had been in the works for many, many years.
Yes, the feds had to step in to do our job. But we were aware of this, allowing it to take place for many years, so let's go ahead and call it a joint operation.
It's a joint operation where they did all the work and I knew about it.
But remember, last time the feds came in to MacArthur Park specifically, she ran down there to make her social media moment against the feds stepping in.
Yes, my comment is they need to leave, and they need to leave right now. They need to leave because this is unacceptable.
It's crazy that her entire stance changed over the last couple of months when people realized, hold up, we have a special button that you could just put people in jail and Crime Stop. And people actually really like that.
So when this federal raid targeted that same park, stopping enough fentanyl to kill over 190,000 people, of course some of the arrests were on individuals already wearing ankle monitors. You really wonder who let these people free to offend again, but it's probably the same people that allowed them to operate in broad daylight with protection against federal law enforcement in this sanctuary city, endangering all of us with their narcotics. Also, the Democrats can secure their new voter base.
Non-citizens, should they?
I mean, because let's think about it. Who are the criminals going to vote for? The people that put them in jail, or the people that keep letting them out of jail? Who are the illegals going to vote for with their illegal votes because they don't need ID? Are they going to vote for the people trying to deport them, or the people that are actually trying to give them free shit that other people earned? All right, understand that this is just how the left survives. They survive and thrive on the lowest forms of parasites in our society. That is how they exist at all.
They be allowed to vote in local elections. Is this a yes or no, Mr. Pratt?
No.
Mayor Bass?
It depends. It's not a yes or no.
It is a yes or no. No, people that aren't citizens shouldn't be voting. What are we even talking about?
Depends on what?
Well, first of all, when you say non-citizens, it doesn't mean they're here illegal.
It does depend.
Yeah, what are we even talking about? Non-citizens, even if they're legal, they shouldn't be able to vote. Why are these people so desperate? So desperate. I mean, we all know the answer. Why are they so desperate to import people from other countries that could vote on the future of our country? Duh, it's because they're going to vote for the party that wants to bring in their entire fucking extended family because America's the best country on the planet.
And in other places, school boards have non-citizens.
Yes or no?
Non-citizens who
Mr. Fred, I have a question for you.
Again, it's a 5-on-1 debate, as they've evaded admitting that illegals voting has always been their plan, but their mask has slowly been slipping the more they use your tax dollars to protect their new voter base.
Right. A bold message now posted across Los Angeles, signs going up declaring city property off limits for ICE.
The signs have no legal weight, force, or effect on anything the federal government does.
More than 450 of these signs now posted at parking lots, libraries, the LA Zoo.
And you know, it's all just a giant propaganda campaign to emotionally manipulate liberal white women into thinking that ICE is like the Gestapo Nazi army coming to deport innocent people, you know, and it works to some extent. But anyone that actually knows anything realizes that this shit's insane. All right, and that's why the leftist vice grip on society is falling apart so badly.
And notably, MacArthur Park, one sign and installation could run about $500, bringing the total to around $250,000.
Executive Directive.
These signs are completely unenforceable and nothing but an empty gesture to show how they're fighting Trump again. The problem being, the city's currently in a $1 billion budget deficit.
And they're spending millions on bullshit fucking signs that have no power. It's all just a propaganda campaign. It is a propaganda campaign funded by your tax dollars to rape your wives and children, to bring in the retards that will destroy your civilization, funded by you. Understand how brutal this is.
Mayor Basara wouldn't dare cut into her virtue signaling sign budget, but good luck to the schools, police, or even providing water for firefighters. So hopefully Los Angeles residents will save themselves and vote for Spencer Pratt, as he's the only one who can fix the city.
That's right.
I didn't come here looking for apologies. They apologize, it admits their failures. And I'm up here because of their failures. That's the only reason I'm running, because I said enough of these failures. We need an outsider. No more politicians, no more lying. We need the truth.
And even though I don't live there anymore, I'm still telling absolutely everybody I know that does vote for Spencer Pratt and tell 2 more people they need to as well. And judging by the local NBC affiliate's survey, he's absolutely crushing both Democrats.
No, he's gonna destroy them. Bro,
So
we're gonna have a based mayor of Los Angeles. I can't even believe it, you know? Like, the fix everything button is getting slammed. Everyone's pushing that button right now.
we'll share this video with anybody that doesn't necessarily have the time to watch a full hour-long debate or just doesn't trust the mainstream media.
That's right. Honestly, the tide is shifting, and it's because of citizen journalists. It's citizens that are bringing attention to the issues with society, and it's incredible watching it actually happen. And that's why I say all the like people that are like accelerationists that are like, oh, we just have to vote for Democrats to make sure that the Republicans work harder. No. All we need to do is replace as many fucking retards as we can. We need to purge these motherfuckers and replace them with some radical assholes that will do the shit that needs to be done. Because it's already happening. And Donald Trump getting elected for president a couple of times, that's the proof. Now, believe it or not, Donald Trump is getting pressured by the World Health Organization that the United States needs to apologize in return because we need to do new quarantines because of a new virus that's showing up. It's honestly insane that we're doing this again, man. Just in the UK confirms the 3rd suspected case of hantavirus infection. Hantavirus is a new virus that is now transmittable to humans, apparently. We thought it was only existing in animals with a, like, 40% mortality rate, unlike COVID, which was like a 0.008% mortality rate. The hantavirus seems like it actually would kill 40% of the people that get it, which is pretty insane. Right now, there's only, like, 5 cases that we know about, but it's getting hairy, and people are starting to make, like, a big deal about it. Now, just to understand other things that are going on at the same time, there's a Disney cruise ship where staffers among 28 arrested in a giant child porn operation. No one's surprised that it's Disney, and now you'll see why I'm bringing all this up together. Now, Israel confirmed its first hantavirus case, which is pretty incredible. However, just to sift through the fake news, because I do all the research, the case of hantavirus in Israel is not a contagious form. It is a non-contagious strand of hantavirus. So this is literally just fear-mongering. I just felt like I needed to bring it up. But we have to talk about the new Resident Evil IRL scheme that's happening. Just in, Spain allows hantavirus cruise ship to dock in the Canary Islands. There is so much suicidal empathy in the West that these people are, well, we can't just put these people in quarantine and keep them away from society. We need to get everyone infected by this bullshit so that the entire world need to be quarantined and be retarded for society. Oh my god, dude, this is insane! Insane! These people are like, not only are we going to let in infinite Moroccan Muslims, but we're also going to let in people with hantavirus. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. That's Spain. Communist president of Spain is going to kill us all in the name of suicidal empathy. We're literally watching this happen, you know. We'll import infinite retards and people with incredibly dangerous, deadly new disease that is hopefully happening. So let me introduce you to hantavirus before we get into the details of how fucked up this shit is.
What is a hantavirus? Hantaviruses are a type of virus
I ain't getting killed by no hentai virus, you hear me?
mainly transmitted to humans by rodents. They can cause respiratory and cardiac problems, as well as hemorrhagic fevers.
That's right. They had fucking ratatouille going on the cruise ship, getting everyone infected with this garbage.
There are several types of hantavirus depending on the region of the world and the clinical presentation. According to the Swiss Federal Office of Public Health, there is one extremely rare type which can be transmitted between humans. The viruses exist on all continents, and they get their names from the Hantan River on the border between North and South Korea.
Right.
Hantaviruses are transmitted to humans by infected wild rodents such as mice and rats. These rodents pass on the virus through their saliva, urine, and feces. Infection can occur after a bite or contact with an infected rodent or its droppings, but also through inhalation of contaminated dust. Hantaviruses can cause infections of varying severity, some of which are fatal. The initial clinical symptoms are generally those of the flu: fever, headache, and muscle aches. Hantavirus infection commonly leads to 2 diseases: hantavirus pulmonary syndrome, found in the Americas, which can cause pulmonary edema, and hemorrhagic fever with renal syndrome, found in Europe and Asia, which causes kidney dysfunction. According to the Public Health Agency of Canada, approximately 200 cases of hantavirus pulmonary syndrome occur each year, mainly in North and South America. In the absence of a vaccine or specific medications against hantaviruses, treatment consists solely of relieving symptoms.
Yeah, so obviously everyone's freaking out about this now that it seems like there's a couple of people that are contagious to some degree. Now, one of the things that a lot of people were bringing attention to was this Twitter post, because every time something crazy happens in the world, you have the people being like, wait a second, let's just search up the name, hantavirus. So this is a post from 2022 saying 2023 Corona ended, 2026 hantavirus. And now we're here. A lot of people found this tweet and freaked the fuck out, because how the fuck is this possible? Especially because this whole account it says soothsayer reads the future and only has 4 tweets. All right, on the entire account, 4 tweets from 2022 calling himself a future-telling soothsayer, and one of them is this. So, you know, a lot of people are getting really scared because every time something insane happens, you always find some random Twitter account that said some ridiculous shit. Now, coincidence or planned? That is the question. I don't know. Just in, the Director General of WHO, the World Health Organization, is using hantavirus as an example of why the U.S. should consider withdrawing from the WHO. And it's like, bro, we are not doing this shit again. We are not doing this shit again. We are withdrawing from the World Health Organization. Fuck you people. This was based as shit that Trump actually did this. I called it. The moment this happened, I was like, well, the next giant global pandemic we're going to be free of. I literally called this months ago when Trump finally withdrew from the World Health Organization, because fuck these people. Because actually, I don't want to be part of any of these giant global hegemonic retard organizations. I don't want to be part of the World Health Organization, the United Nations, NATO. I don't want to be part of any of that shit. I'm America first. I don't want to deal with your problems and your bullshit and your lib cuck politics. So get out of here with this. Now, as I showed you before, Disney cruise ship staffers among 28 arrested in a massive child porn operation. First of all, of course, it's Disney. It's just a terrible day for Disney. I'll show you what else is going on at Disney right now. But this is just a big week for cruise ships, bro. We got cruise ships caught in giant child porn scheme. We got cruise ships getting caught with the hentai virus, bro. And now you have these tweets obviously going viral. I have zero evidence, but I'm 100% certain that the Jews are behind the hantavirus. First of all, that's anti-Semitic. Second of all, you're probably right. Anyway, so so this tweet was going viral too.
United States also nothing until May 3rd, when the news breaks and we've learned about something called hantavirus. And it's pretty much like this for the rest of the world. I checked China and I checked Russia, and then out of curiosity, I went and checked Israel, because Israel tends to have a reoccurring tendency to be Googling things that have yet to be spoken about. You like to see what the Israel graph looks like? What the fuck is this? So
there's a blip.
Israel, about a month.
There was a blip a month ago.
Before the rest of the world started searching what the hantavirus was searching hantavirus collectively enough times for it to register here. Why? This is on Google Trends. You can check this yourself. Because out of curiosity, I was like, hantavirus, huh? That sounds like another global pandemic waiting to happen. Why would they be prematurely searching something collectively at the same time? Enough for it to register here. That the rest of the world, UK...
But it actually does register. You have these anomalies all over the place, by the way.
Russia, China, and the US had not, between all of them, been...
Some Jew looked up the hentai virus a month before this shit happened. Now, obviously, the reason why this is hilarious... Bro, did Zambia also create the hantavirus? Because if you look at Zambia's Google Trends, it also has the blip. Zambia's in on it too. SMH Zambia. You know, the reality, you realize that embassies and intelligence officers in Israel belong to other governments. Again, ultimately, these blips happen all the time. People are fear-mongering over this because everyone remembers COVID. That shit was really, really annoying, actually. And ain't nobody wants to go through with that shit again. Now, I keep thinking about the Epstein documents, talking about a global pandemic where lots of people die, talking about how we're going to need to initiate quarantine and shit, and pushing that. I thought he was talking about COVID, but maybe it was the hantavirus all along. Now, I'm not getting worked up over this. I am firmly in the nothing ever happens camp. All right, I am confident nothing ever happens. Okay, chill out, guys. It'll be fine. But first we have to look at Disney getting absolutely obliterated, and the hantavirus situation, which is getting out of control.
People are crashing out on Mandalorian, new movie in clips. It's the biggest flop by Disney by far. I haven't seen this at all. New clip from Mandalorian and Grogu.
What are you waiting for? Hop on.
It's so wild how absolutely no one fucking cares about another Star Wars movie. Like, you want to see more woke slop kids where we rape your old favorite franchise?
Yeah?
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, no one cares about this. It's crazy how no one cares. It's awesome.
It would get it. Not yet, sir, but we will.
It's a fat Sith. Let's go.
We missed him! He's under us!
Oh, and this is another one too. So they're making
how it just like looks like AI, and this is why I support AI in general. I want to take gatekeeping out of the hands of these fat retards in Hollywood that are slopifying and homosexualizing literally everything they possibly can. I'm sorry, man. Fuck you. you deserve your failure. Your gatekeeping will end because AI is in our hands now. You could generate that shit with AI. Let's be real. That was completely soulless.
A movie out of it, is that right?
Grogu, I need you to go to the control panel. Remember the buttons I told you
to
touch?
Okay.
I'm gonna need you to touch them. Look for the ignition relay cutoff. It's next to the fuel differential readout, which is between
the baby doesn't know what button to push.
And the primary reserve. No, don't touch the missile battery switch.
So
that's why there's a safety guard on it.
It's crazy how much this just looks like slop.
Display. Remember I showed you that one? It's on the other side of the manual control surface calibration.
Oh.
I don't think he knows what he's doing.
That is the Mandalorian.
Is that it? I mean, how many Star
Completely soulless, bro. No one cares.
Wars movies are announced and killed this past decade, and the one they finally make is Mandalorian and Grogu. Tough focus group on Star Wars as 5, 17, and 18-year-olds show no interest. How are you feeling about Star Wars?
Cares.
I like the old stuff, but the new stuff, nah, I'm not too excited for The Mandalorian. I've never watched it. Anything that came out after I was born isn't that
The kids are all right.
Anything that came out after I was born isn't that great. Star Wars has been quiet lately, but I liked Andor a lot. A lot of people liked Andor. Baby Yoda is creepy. Oh, wow. Disney has reportedly tempered expectations for Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu, which is currently tracking to open lower in the box office and bomb Solo: A Star Wars Story. Holy shit, that is embarrassing. Mandalorian and Grogu are now tracking at $65 million, which would set the record for the lowest Disney.
You go woke, you go broke. It's not a promise, it's a prophecy. It's inevitable.
Wait a minute. So this is even worse than the previous flops. It's a tax write-off? I guess so. This is insane. Is Disney's Star Wars brand beyond repair? I think that it is.
Yeah.
Really, now what is
They're
this?
cooked.
This movie is a commercial. It's a commercial for the Baby Yodas. Other than that, why would anybody else care about it? Let me see what this is. Disney to remove Star Wars sequel trilogy from timeline and refocus on the original characters. Wait, they're just gonna say never mind?
If this was a bad dream, guys. They're gonna Jedi mind trick you. There was no Disney Star Wars pre-sequels, guys. This never happened, guys. We made everything gay and it's all bad. No one likes Jedi butt sex, it seems. That's crazy.
Most dramatic franchise shifts in modern Hollywood history. They're just gonna delete it? Wait, what do you mean? Yeah, they're just gonna retcon the entire thing? So what do I think about the movie? I think this is just, it looks like another mediocre Star Wars movie. Like, this is like basically an AI-generated battle scene. There's nothing really interesting or compelling about this at all.
Slop, bro. Slop. So not only do all these Disney staffers get blasted for getting caught with child porn, but their baby franchise that's supposed one of the biggest franchises of all time is in complete disarray. Absolute disarray. Bro, even the hentai virus won't get people to watch your shit. It's crazy. It's miserable. God damn! I'd like to think that this could have all been avoided if they were a little less fucking gay. All right, now let's look into this hentai virus situation.
A deadly virus outbreak on a ship. To recap, incredibly deadly virus that is 99.9% of the time animal to human. Looks like it's now going human to human now. A bunch of people got infected. Oh shit, one of them got on a plane and potentially infected passengers. The suspected hantavirus patients have been evacuated.
Oh, we're not doing this again, by the way.
Evacuated from an infected rat virus.
I am firmly... look, I'm reporting this because it's in the news and it's viral and everyone's talking about it, and that's what I do. I cover all the things every day. I do a deep dive every day on all the things. Let me just be clear. I am firmly in the camp of nothing ever happens. Nothing's happening, guys. It's a psyop to get Trump to go back to the World Health Organization, all right? To turn us back into this global economy, globalized retard situation. It's not happening, okay? Please.
An infected rat virus cruise ship in Camp Verde in Africa. 3 passengers
their chef was Remy from Ratatouille, bro.
They died? What the fuck?
Yeah, 40% mortality rate.
Swiss government confirms that MV Hondius passenger who returned to Switzerland was infected with hantavirus.
Hantavirus infections have risen again from 7 people who were on board the MV Hondius to at least 2 new people for a total of at least 9. And one of those 2 new cases was not a passenger on that ship. And this is concerning because it means that...
By the way, a lot of the issues for infectious disease in our country actually comes from illegal immigrants. I know that, you know, everyone on the left is like, oh, is everything about illegals for you? I don't know, man. We didn't have measles for like decades, and now all of a sudden there's measles outbreaks in the country. Guess who's fucking here with getting measles? All right, where's that fucking happening, huh? Where did that come from? All right, so again, honestly, I feel so much safer in a country with a border, you know?
The virus has spread from person to person. Now, this case involves a French national. He traveled on this plane from the island of St. Helena to Johannesburg, South Africa. It was the same plane as one of the first passengers who got sick on the ship. That was a 69-year-old Dutch woman who collapsed just hours after she landed in Johannesburg.
What the
Her
fuck?
70-year-old husband had already died on the ship, and he...
What the He's telling this story. This is the kind of thing that you expect to hear whenever it's like, you know, Shackleton's Adventure.
Bro, Resident Evil live action is just going to be Spain next year.
To the North Pole. What the fuck? This is crazy.
Was the first victim in this hantavirus outbreak.
Yeah.
Now, making this more concerning, there were about 85 passengers and crew on that same flight.
Lock them up, quarantine them. I'm not doing this. We're not doing this. I don't care if the communist retard in Spain cares about their human rights and lets them out in public. No, we're not doing this again.
And then there is the second new confirmed case, a Swiss national and also a man, and he is linked to the ship and was another passenger.
Oh my God.
Sometime in late April, he left the ship with his wife and flew home to Zurich.
Are we gonna have another COVID?
Now in Zurich, he felt sick. He was tested for hantavirus.
Except COVID at a mortality rate of 0.008% of people, and this has a mortality rate of 40% of people that get to die. All right, that's obviously a pretty massive difference. This will not be another COVID. If it actually becomes some sort of global outbreak, it's gonna be fucking crazy. It's gonna be the government gonna be like, well, they didn't believe COVID was real, so now we're just gonna have to fucking kill 1 million people, I guess. I really don't trust these guys. These fucking government fucks. Get them out of here.
Virus and was confirmed to have the Andes strain. This is the one that can jump from human to human. He's now hospitalized and in isolation in Zurich. His wife isn't showing any symptoms, and she is self-isolating. But whatever flight or flights this man and his wife took to get home will be in focus for more contact tracing.
Oh my God.
Hundreds more people in planes and on the ground.
Well, and here's the thing. It has like a 30 to 50% mortality, right? Case fatality. 35 to 40%.
Yeah. I normally wouldn't make a video like this, but I feel like I need to say something, so I wrote a few things down. And what's happening right now is very real for all of us here. We're not just a story. We're not just headlines. We're people with families. There's a lot of uncertainty. All we want right now is to feel safe, to have clarity, and to get home. So if you're seeing coverage about this, just remember that there are real people behind it and that this isn't something happening somewhere far away. It's happening to us right now. I'll share more when I can, but for now...
Look, man, I'm not minimizing what you're going through. That shit sucks, but please don't bring it here. Please. We're not doing this again. We're not doing this again.
I just ask for your kindness and understanding. Thank you.
I mean, I'm gonna be real. Like, I wouldn't let him back. We're gonna have y'all.
100%. Really sorry that shit sucks for you, but we're not doing this again. Nope.
Quarantine for like a week or something like that. Fly him out supplies, contain it, right? It's just pretty fucking obvious what to do, right?
Yeah, dude, but it's immoral. The communist government of Spain wants to let them back into society and integrate. Yeah, well, the communist government of Spain can go fuck itself, actually. Suicidal empathy, literally existing to rape you, all right? We'll bring in infinite rapists and people with deadly pestilence, all right? Get out of here, man. I'm sorry. It sucks this happened to you. Your sacrifice is a sacrifice I am willing to make. This is why we need strong men in charge, not these, like, emotional puddles of clay and mud. Now, this entire toxic empathy that's been sweeping over the world is actually falling apart right now, and it's pretty lovely to watch. And I think the most obvious case example of this that we could point to right now is England. England had elections last night, and they went tremendously for people that don't want to import people that have a religion that wants to destroy your entire civilization and conquer it with jihad. If you're Islamophobic, today is like a new Hanukkah. All right, we got insane stuff going on. HASAN melting down, the other HASAN melting down. For example, this is Mehdi Hasan. He just did a whole debate with Michael Knowles, and he got so humiliated. Right, you know, he keeps calling out Michael Knowles and stuff. And he denies the Christian genocide in Nigeria. It is total Islam destruction today.
As for Nigeria, number one, it's not a genocide of Christians. The First Lady of Nigeria...
It literally is. It literally is a genocide of Christians in Nigeria, where Islamists massacred around 100,000 Christians over the last decade.
Is a Christian. The defense minister is a Christian. Terrorist groups like ISIS in Nigeria and Boko Haram kill Muslims and Christians alike. It's a horrific violence, but it's not a Christian genocide. No one actually believes that.
The crazy thing is this dude will talk about the pretendicide in Gaza and be like, oh, that's obviously a genocide because they started a war and lost. But the Islamists massacring hundreds of thousands of Christians in Nigeria is like a nothing. It's literally a nothing.
And even if it was, that's not the debate.
Yeah, and even if it was, it's, you know, more Christians have been killed in Nigeria in the last decade than Palestinians killed in the last century. And that's true, actually. And it's insane watching this person just dance around this, because obviously Muslims can never do anything wrong. This guy you'd think is like, this is Mehdi Hassan. He's like, he worked for CNN and he's based, and yes, he's funded by the government of Qatar, but he's just as American and as me and you. He has American citizenship and British citizenship. He's just as American as all of us. All right, actively downplaying Islamic genocide and jihad and terrorism. Well, people are really tired of it. Now, for example, Muslims in Plano, Texas are bragging about the Islamic takeover of America.
Why aren't you guys dressed like Americans?
Islamic takeover. I am American. I've been in Texas
This
for 22
This
years.
is not how Americans dress.
No, it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
this is a takeover. This is a displacement. You guys are wearing dresses. This is not how men dress. This is not how men dress. You guys are dressed like...
Bringing up Israel. But Israel, though.
Women, though, out here.
Islamification is
your ability to practice your religion is one thing, but you guys are changing the culture, the dress, the style of language, everything. All of the street corner sides are different.
I had a dress code in school, in high school. I have to wear what Americans wear, right? We're all Americans.
Okay, so why don't you dress like an American now? So you went to high school dressed...
I come to your country, and then I am just as American as anyone else.
like an American now, but you're dressed like a terrorist invader.
Oh my fucking god. Dude, people are so tired of it, man. All right, just understand what's going on, all right? So, Iranian man who raped his lodger in London can't be deported in case he is persecuted in his homeland for being a rapist. Do we understand what's going on? Do we understand what's going on in this country? What suicide, empathy... Every day there's a new article and there's a new story that makes me want to shoot myself in the fucking dick. All right, this is the craziest thing in the world. All right, we can't deport him. What if he's punished in his home country? All right, so just understand, elections just happened. And this is the day that the woke, gay, race communists in England are dead. All right, so Reform, which is the only right-wing party on the ballot right here, because Restore is not there yet. Reform, which is, by the way, not even like right-wing enough. They're like the gay right-wing, all right? And they won by a landslide. Oh my God, I've never seen this before. So, as Labour, which is the gay libtards that are currently running the government, falls apart in front of the world's eyes, David Lammy, who's the mouthpiece of the gay libtards, he goes out there screaming about how it's not a proper election.
Oh, look, I mean, I think, one, let's wait and see the results come in. Two, I remember in 2019, the then Brexit party doing extremely well in the European elections. It then all fell away by the time you get to the proper elections. So the truth is...
Yeah, so it's like, it's totally not indicative of anything that we are losing in absolute droves to the people that want to limit immigration, all right? Like, for example, dude, here, look. This is the UK's most wanted criminals, all right? This is, just scroll through it. Wanted for murder, wanted for murder, wanted for murder, wanted for murder, wanted for murder. Just scroll through it. Every single one of them. And it's like, none of them are white. It's probably a coincidence, right? It's probably a coincidence, right? You know, Nigel Farage, he's in front of Reform. Reform is currently winning 1 in 3 seats all over the country. We're truly a national party and here to stay. The thing is, I don't actually like this guy. I really want the even more right-wing party to win. But the craziest part is, he's just the alternative to the infinite Islamic takeover. And people are voting for that because what's the alternative? So Zahra Hussein, pretty awesome, a large voice against the far right, an immigrant, Islamic immigrant into England. All right, the polls have closed. I'm angry, upset, disappointed, and I feel sick. I feel sick. I feel sick. There were all these predictions that Reform, the gay libtards, would win multiple councils. Awful day for British politics. Yeah, it's definitely an awful day for British politics if you're a race communist or if you're a Pakistani. All right, awful day for Pakistani politics. No, we wake up to Reform dominating British politics. As Muslims, we should be very worried about the future of Britain. Yes, you should. Do not rape a generation of white girls next time, and you would not have this issue. Wow, I keep coming up with such like incredible solutions every time. You'd think they'd hire me for like coming up with this shit. You know, there would be a lot less Islamophobia if there was like less Islamic terrorism, for example. We have a few years until the general election. Reform government and Farage PM are depressing. Well, it's going to be even more depressing when Restore actually wins, the actual right-wing party, instead of like the gay right. All right, now this is Nigel Farage, the right-wing candidate that actually won, like big.
It's a big day. It's a big day, not just for our party, but for a complete reshaping of British politics in every way. And it all goes to show that over the course of the last 2 years, since we made that breakthrough in the general election, we have professionalised the party. We've done it at a very rapid rate.
Yeah, so the truth is, the reason why so many people are voting for him, you might not be aware of this, but the major reason why so many people are voting for him is because they really hate the fact that there's the infinite Muslim rape of white kids in England. And it's really upsetting people, actually. I can't possibly understand why. But the thing is, and it's important to be aware of what's going on, these guys are not right-wing enough. So this is literally just, they're voting for him, not because he's the candidate they want, but because at least he's not the import infinite Muslims party. All right. Now, Keir Starmer, the guy who lost miserably. Oh, dude, the cope is crazy.
I'm not going to walk away and plunge the country.
I will not walk away. He's going to walk away.
Into chaos. We were elected to deal with these challenges, and that's what we will do.
Has Ed Miliband asked you to set out a timetable for your departure?
Well, I think Ed Miliband has dealt with this and made absolutely clear that he supports me.
What do you say to those in your party that are really upset with you? They don't think you're getting it, and they're calling for your resignation. What do you say to would-be challengers?
Dude, the fact that his own party is calling for his resignation. Oh my God, biggest humiliation in global politics ever.
And the party. What's your message?
Well, I think it's very important that we don't sugarcoat these results, so I'm not going to do that. They are tough results. I accept.
They are tough. I lost in a landslide, the biggest landslide anyone's ever lost in. But I'm not gonna resign. They don't call me queer Stalin for nothing.
They reflect voters.
They reflect voters that really don't like getting raped by Muslims.
Who don't feel that their lives have changed enough or quickly enough, and that's been going on for a long time.
Yeah, because the economy is an absolute shit. Immigration is an absolute nightmare, and the police is covering up crimes from gangs because you don't want to be Islamophobic. Yeah, I wonder why people are upset with your policy, dude. Oh my God, just absolutely humiliating every step of the way. All right, so this is him coping a little bit more.
The results are tough.
Yeah.
They are very tough.
Yes, sir.
And there is no sugarcoating this.
Nope, you lost bad.
We have lost brilliant Labour representatives
Not
across
brilliant
the
enough
country.
to keep their seats.
These are people who put so much into their communities.
Yes, so much rape specifically. That is one of their major contributions to British society.
So much into our party and our movement.
Not enough. Y'all lost.
And that hurts.
Big.
And it should hurt. And I take responsibility.
Go Brave.
When voters...
Not enough responsibility to quit, but enough responsibility to virtue signal.
Send a message like this. We must reflect and we must respond.
So you're going to deport the invaders? No.
I think the vast majority of people do understand that we face huge challenges as a country.
True. Almost all of them self-inflicted. I'm not trying to be rude here, but you literally caused almost every issue in British society. And it's so sad. You know, there are real problems that affect real people around the world. And England is completely self-induced issues. The economy is dead because you guys are rerouting everything that's made by and people in England, rerouted to people that invaded England. All right, the streets are less safe because you refuse to address the problem because you don't want to look Islamophobic. All right, You have gangs of retards and terrorists taking over your country. There's a new attack against Jews or Christians almost every single day in England right now. From lighting churches to synagogues on fire, firebombing ambulances, stabbing Jews, shooting Jews in Manchester, stabbing them in Golders Green, raping white girls across the entire nation. All right, like, I'm not even going to lie to you. This is insanity. It is mayhem. It's an apocalypse of your own design. All right, and the only person you can blame is yourself. All right, and you lost miserably in the election, and instead of actually acknowledging this, you're like, well, I guess we need to do more things. Maybe we should tax them higher or something. It's honestly insane. Oh, but the environment's important, so we're not going to have oil. That's right. We're not going to actually drill for oil because the environment's important. So oil prices go up. Where are you going to get your oil from? Well, Russia. You're going to get your oil from fucking Russia and fucking Iran. All right. So when America gets to war with Iran, because Iran is trying to nuke us. All right. When America gets into war with them, you guys are going to be fucked. All right. When you are funding Ukraine to fight Russia, and you are funding Russia because you need their oil because you refuse to drill. Do you understand how cucked this nation is? It's heartbreaking, man.
We've had a series of economic shocks.
Yeah, how did that happen?
Recent years.
Oh, it must be America's fault for killing terrorists. Not your own fault because you refuse to drill for oil.
And there's a very difficult international situation that we face. They know that.
Yeah, the reason why people aren't voting for you has nothing to do with America blowing up terrorists in the Middle East. Zero. All right. In fact, Nigel Farage, the guy that they're all voting for right now, supports the United States war with Iran. All right. He openly said if he was prime minister, he would have joined the fight on our side against Iran. So the people that are voting for him, it's not because America's at war with Iran. All right. It's because of a domestic issue.
But they still want their lives to improve.
And yet they're taxed into oblivion while getting raped by the people that their tax dollars are funding.
They still want to see the change that we promised. They know the status quo is letting them down, and they're frustrated.
Yes, they are.
They don't feel the change.
Yeah, I wonder why. So this is the saddest shit I've seen in my entire life. Bro, the Brits are so done with the Islamism, bro. They're so tired of it. Like, they're not allowed to talk about it openly or they'll go to jail, right? There are more people arrested for, like, you know, social media posts than rape in this goddamn rock, all right? Turns out, calling the working class far-right racists for the last 20 months was not the best idea. Bro lost everything. And we know exactly why. Because this is what he was preaching.
We must be defiant. Because the British Muslim community is not defined by this. It is defined by the success.
That's right. The British Muslim community is defined by the success.
The brilliance. The creativity.
Muslims are just a successful, brilliant, and creative people.
Rooms like this, by contribution that
Muslims have contributed so much to Britain's history, its art, and its education.
Make to Britain's story and to our national life. That is how it's defined. In business, in art, in education, in public service. You're the face of modern Britain.
You are the face of modern Britain. Wow. I can't possibly imagine how this guy lost his election. You are the face of modern Britain, he says. Dog, look at this shit.
There is not a single white British child in 72 schools across England.
Wow.
In 454 schools, white British children make up less than 2% of the student body.
And guess who's funding these schools? The taxes. Guess who's paying the taxes?
British children are also now a minority in 1 in 4 schools. Will there be a White History Month to help with these minority children to feel...
I sure doubt it. I sure doubt it. One of Britain's first gay dads and his husband are charged with rape, sexual assault, and modern slavery trafficking for sexual exploitation. This is once again one of those things that never happens, that keeps happening. To understand what I mean, if you actually look at the results of all of these elections, so Reform, the gay right-wing party, they got plus 1,580. That's insane. All right, if you look at Labor, all right, this is the party that's currently in power. They got minus 1,597. They basically all jumped from leftist to right-wing immediately. Green, which is the gay libtards, they went up by 344. Muslim Independent up. They have a Muslim independent party that is growing rapidly, bro. finished country, man. It's so cooked. Unless you do something. Now, to understand how cooked Europe is, for ISIS and the entire Euro-cuck, broader Euro-cuck phenomenon, for ISIS wives and their 9 children returned to Australia after being given and issued new passports by the Australian state despite spending years in the Al-Hol prison camp in Syria. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Qatar Airways bringing the ISIS brides back to Australia. They import their own death, and they wonder how this happens. For ISIS brides and their 9 children returning to Australia, Home Affairs Minister Tony Burke confirms that the group will travel from Syria and arrive in Australia on Thursday evening. All 4 women and their children are Australian citizens holding Australian passports. Many of the women were wives or widows of prominent Australian ISIS members. Why the fuck are you taking these people? Why? Oh my God. And it's insane. And they're just so suicidally empathetic that they will do this to themselves. This is the moment. ISIS brides arrived in Australia. At least 3 women, 5 children recently brought out of Syrian refugee camps landed in Melbourne. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. That's so nice. It's so nice that they care about themselves. Now, obviously, the normies are getting radicalized in real time because nothing radicalizes people against Islam like, you know, the rape of an entire generation of white women as they advocate and proudly proclaim their planned takeover of your country. So Hasan Piker is in America currently trying to run a campaign for a Michigan terrorist supporter, Abdul El Sayed, who he's trying to make a senator. And Asmongold obliterated him. Now, Asmongold, in my stance, is a relative normie when it comes to Islam. I know this is going to be a hard one to hear. But when it comes to Islam, Asmongold doesn't realize it's a theocratic ideology that quite literally wants a world apocalypse for their actual goal. And he is slowly but surely getting fucking radicalized and realizing, wait a second, this ideology's a little bit fucking evil.
Dan Stalkman.
Oh, wow.
He wrote an article for the Free Press.
So first, this is Hasan crying that someone wrote an article calling him a terrorist supporter, which he is.
As a matter of fact. Abdul El-Sayed and the Decline of the Senate is the title of the article. Yes. The Free Press is so fucking desperate that they got Diddy Dan to write an article. The only article he's ever written is on Abdul El-Sayed. The article itself is, of course...
well, it would make sense. I mean, Dan's a Jew and Abdul is a terrorist supporter. So, I mean,
that makes sense to me.
Obviously, I mean, if I was a Jew, I'd be like, fuck, man. That stressed me out.
Fair point. Man, I can't believe the Jews are a little upset that these people are advocating for Hamas terrorism. I can't believe the Jews feel uncomfortable about that.
Yeah, that stressed me out. Like, what do you mean? It's really simple. I mean, fuck.
Unbelievably Islamophobic.
Yeah, you know, everyone cries about how right-wing violence against Jews is so bad and anti-Semitism on the right. Oh my God, a Republican group chat got leaked and someone was making jokes about Hitler. Dog, there are Muslims blowing themselves up in synagogues in the United States. Okay, this just happened like 2 weeks ago. All right, the violence is really not coming from online groypers, okay? And it's really obvious.
As expected from...
It's Islamophobic whenever you don't accept a refusal to condemn terrorism. Yeah, no, condemning terrorism is not Islamophobic.
Based.
It's kind of crazy to... I feel like saying that is Islamophobic.
No, it's because they support terrorism so openly that they don't even consider it bad. They love terrorists. Terrorists are awesome. Terrorist is the highest civilian honor in Pakistan.
Weird psychopath like Diddy Dan.
Diddy Dan.
This is coming from Hasan Piker, by the way, who literally went to a Diddy party.
I was also shocked that he's literate.
Oh, he's got
I didn't
two
know
names
that was
for
the
him.
case.
Yeah, also, keep in mind, by the way, Islamophobia isn't a real word. It's a made-up word that's invented by people to try to silence critics of political Islam.
That's not
Nobody
real.
has a problem with you going to a mosque, praying 5 times a day, and not eating whenever the sun's out. Nobody cares about that. It's not a big deal. You can do whatever you want to do. But the reality is that there are a lot of people that view Islam as a way of life, and they want to expand that way of life beyond their mosque, beyond their religion.
Bro, It's not beyond their religion. This is what Asmongold keeps missing. The religion calls for them to do it. Listen, man, I've said this many, many times. All right, the Muslims that call themselves Muslims, but they're not actually following the rules of Islam super carefully. It's like, sure, great. I'm sure they might be wonderful people. But if you actually do follow the prescription of Islam, you're probably a terrorist. Again, if you actually read the book, that's kind of what they advocate for. I'm friendly with people that are traditionally Muslim, and they don't actually follow the religion very carefully. Fine, but if you follow the religion, you're going to be a terrorist, in my opinion. And that's because the religion calls for that. It calls for the subjugation of all these other people. It calls for the eradication of polytheists like Christians, because that's what they call them, right? Strike them at the neck. Jews and Christians are the lowest of people. You have to, you know, create an Islamic caliphate where you can create a society where the lower form of life, the second-class citizens, known as the dhimmis, have to pay jizya taxes or protection taxes so that the Muslims don't fucking kill you. And what are we doing here? It is a supremacist ideology. That is what it is, all right? It's not Islamophobic to acknowledge what it is. And so many people don't want to address the fact that that is what it calls for. Now, I think that Islam actually causes a lot of Islamism. A lot of the Islamic terrorists and jihadists are actually just followers of this ideology, brought to its natural conclusion that, yeah, smites the infidel at the neck. Because it says to do that. So again, if you are a Muslim that isn't really following the religion, that's cool. But if you are following the religion, you might be a terrorist, bro.
Into society. And the moment that you say that my worldview, my lifestyle, my religion should be the reason why something should happen or something should not happen, or it changes or shifts the way that anything is perceived, things like terrorism, for example, that is the moment that you leave the realm of having the protection of religious freedom.
The religious freedom to rape and kill Jews in Israel on October 7th, according to HASAN PIKER.
That's the realm where there is no longer a phobia. This is an idea that you have.
The religious freedom to light churches on fire across Europe.
And you are projecting this idea out to the public. Will the public accept it or reject it? It's up to them, but regardless of what they choose,
the religious freedom to allow infinite child marriage. You know that 2.3 million children are married to fully grown adults in Iran right now? Under this Islamic fucking retard dictatorship?
No phobia behind it. It's simply an idea.
But the very fact that he's Muslim and an advocate for Palestinian rights and
has nothing to do with that.
He's not an advocate for Palestinian rights. He's an advocate for terrorism.
Palestinian dignity.
Dignity. The dignity to rape Jews without being called anti-Semitic.
Has nothing to do with it.
That the Senate is falling apart. We have a network of some of
another issue is that these people don't really, like, the reason why they advocate for healthcare is so they can effectively fund more people that are part of their ideology. I don't agree with that at all. I think that's ridiculous. Like, and again, like, I'm okay with giving people health care, but it should be for Americans. It should be for American citizens. They don't want that. They want there to be health care.
I personally am kind of against, like, the socialized healthcare altogether, because I think that shit sucks, and that's why Canada and England have awful healthcare systems, and why every time they actually have issues, they send their patients to America where they can get real healthcare. But that said, if we did live in a society where there was socialized healthcare, which I don't agree with, I definitely don't want it to be going to illegals before Americans.
For everybody. And the reason why is they want there to be health care for everyone so they can subsidize and fund continuing an invasion into the country.
You will notice almost every single policy pushed by these guys that they claim to be civil rights is literally just to give a leg up to foreigners.
That's the reason why. Is that
God,
they use
it's so
that
nice
to
watching
create...
him get this shit, man. I love that Asmongold is actually finally acknowledging this stuff.
They basically create this idea of like a socialist utopia, but this utopia only manifests for people that are immigrants inside of the
people that aren't working for a living, people that come to your country illegally.
These communities that receive benefits from other types of biases. Like you saw that in the Somali community.
A great deal of time and effort trying to come after not only me, but also wonderful candidates that would help fight the good fight and would advance the interests of
nobody that can't unequivocally condemn October 7th is going to be fighting any good fight.
He's right.
No, really, it's just that simple.
Yeah.
Nope.
If you can't say that actually the rape, the completely unprompted rape and torture of and murder of 1,300 Jews is a bad thing, actually, yeah, you're fucking retarded. But it didn't start on October 7th. So therefore, raping thousands of women is awesome, actually, says HASAN PIKER, the terrorist supporter. The truth is, and anyone that knows history knows this, Muslims have been killing Jews for a really long time, and Muslims have been killing Christians for a really long time. Suspiciously, right now there's like 10 global conflicts, 8 of them are Muslims. And I'm being generous, considering Mexico versus the cartels as one of the 10 global conflicts. The only actual war going on right now that's not Muslims is Russia-Ukraine. In fact, if you look throughout history, the #1 colonial religion ever is Islam. Oh my god, but the Nakba happened in 1948, where a lot of Arab armies decided to attack Jews because they didn't like them, and then Arabs left their homes expecting to wipe out the Jews and come back, and then the Jews won, so Nakba happened. Let's not address the fact that Muslims were massacring Jews in Palestine territory in 1929, 20 years before the Nakba, all right, or, you know, every single generation before that too, right? Again, it's like, we could go back as far as you want and as long as you want. You'll notice that there is one specific, very violent group of people that for the last 1,400 years have been involved in almost every single gigantic violent conflict in one way or another. So listen, man, this shit's crazy.
Nobody that can't just immediately condemn that, like without any sort of fine print or or anything else, like that's nobody's fighting the good fight that's doing that. Fuck defends October 7th daily. Well, it's because he supports Muslim terrorism.
Finally! Oh my god! Yeah, that's right.
That's the reason why.
Yeah, the reason why they defend October 7th is not because of some sort of large, gigantic humanitarian issue. It's just because they love Muslim terrorists. And I'm really glad people are finally waking up and realizing that these cultural Muslim people actually love Muslim terrorism. And they support it, actually. And they love it. They really do. They fucking love it. And that's why they'll never talk about it. That's why you'll have Cenk Younger on Piers Morgan talking about how the grooming gangs in England, they're all a hoax made up by the far right. Because they all actually support the Islamic terrorists. Because that's where their loyalty actually lies, and they will do everything in their power to blame everything on Trump or on America or on the Jews or on something else, because they don't want you to be like, wait a second, hold up, these fucking savages are raping my people. Well, the normies are waking up, motherfucker, because we have Twitter. We can actually talk about things publicly now without going to jail, because we're not in England. And it is so fucking over for the people that thought that we could be shamed into silence by calling us Islamophobes. It is over. Now, there is trouble in paradise. HASAN PIKER, largest leftist political streamer on the planet, is going through quite a, unfortunately, for him, very messy situation with his girlfriend, Valkyrie, who actually really wants kids, but because she's a woman, and she doesn't want to admit it because she's a leftist. And it's really miserable for all of these people. So we are going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive into this situation, because the misery of my enemies that advocate for my death actually pleases me immensely. Now, I know what you're thinking. Nux, that's pretty petty of you. You want these people that are advocating for your death on their streams to have misery? Yeah, sounds great. Yeah, it is petty. Absolutely, of course, yeah. Very petty of me, and we're going to enjoy it.
This is one of the biggest crash outs that HASAN has had in a while.
Let's go, dude.
Bro is literally on his conquest LARP right now. He's all like, no one else on the left understands.
Yeah, he alone fights the good fight for America and Palestine and other made-up places like Palestine.
Right. All alone. I'm so lonely.
Of party.
No one understands the suffering. I just want the left to support terrorists, and there's still some libtards that don't say it out loud. Finally, they're talking about publicly trying to kill Trump, but I really wish they'd also be killing everyone I don't like. HASAN PIKER, ladies and gentlemen, we love him.
I have no support from the Democrats.
Yeah, because you're a terrorist supporter.
I have
Democrats, at least, you know, publicly don't want to openly admit that they support terrorism.
Support from the broader leftist movement who say I'm a Zionist.
Meeting yesterday with high
school. He just invented that. That's not real.
It's got you.
In my district.
My chat.
I just have you, my chat. Miserable 45-year-old man, slowly balding, going away alone, miserable, no children, no legacy. Just that one guy that shocked his dog.
Yeah, that's it.
Questions centered
This bitch said my name before Candace Owens on the anti-Semitism bill.
Yeah, because while Candace Owens is absolutely a complete fucking retard, at least she's not openly advocating for killing and raping Jews. You know, Candace Owens will say that Jews invented dinosaurs to trick Christians into disbelieving their faith, or Jews invented space, all right, to trick Christians into not believing that the earth is actually flat, or whatever else Candace Owens is pushing on the Jews. But you know, the Jews control the American government, which, I mean, let's be real. I mean, the Jews, obviously, of course, the Jews control the American government. This is old news. We've known this for a long time, Candace. Get with the times, all right? Come on. Hasan Piker's just out there be like, yeah, actually killing Jews is based, actually. Like, we should actually just support the terrorists that are killing Jews. So yeah, understandable.
Then he eats for like 30 seconds without commentary. We'll, you know, skip this part.
Yeah.
And I'm so alone, dude.
I'm so alone. Trouble in you know, my favorite part about leftist policy is it is ultimately just a completely self-defeating system. You know, it's like, this movement cannot exist without indoctrination and grooming and importing infinite retards from the third world. It's a system that is ultimately self-defeating, leaving and creating the most miserable people on the fucking planet. Because you want to know what actually brings solace and happiness into your life? Getting married, having children, having a family that looks up to you and loves you, that respects you, that you love in return, that you will give your life for. That is true solace, where you are able to emulate God with your actions, literally creating a family that you want to protect and care for. This is true happiness. And the left hates it. And the left is like, no, actually, you should murder your own children and castrate them. Yeah. You shouldn't actually get married. You should become a girl boss. You should get a degree in underwater sodomy. All right, let's do it, guys. We should, instead of worrying about building a family, why don't you go protest about how Donald Trump is Hitler, actually?
This shit so much. Please sue. I'm gonna end the broadcast right now, I think. If one more dumb fuck in my chat says, please sue, I'm just gonna end it. I'm gonna end it all. I'm gonna end my life, okay, in a video game.
Whoa! Don't get me so excited. I'm kidding. I don't support that, obviously. I just want Hasan Piker to go to jail or get deported. I don't want him to die.
Next, Hasan is upset.
I would really, ideally, in an ideal world, Hasan Piker would be deported and go to Turkey, where he would go to jail as a traitor and a retard and a gay person, all right? And where he is forced from prison to watch my content. That is the dream. That is the dream.
That Democratic rep Gottheimer.
Bro, he literally just tweeted today. It's like, my ops are going crazy, with like a picture of me. So, you know, obviously, we live in rent-free in this Turkish roach's head.
Is on CNN, and that they're all criticizing him on the broadcast.
Yeah.
I'm skipping that.
Probably because he supports terrorism.
Because it's like 30 seconds of these people on CNN rambling while Hasan stuffs his face. It's a very off-putting clip, but that's a TLDR of the context.
There's no world in the United States of America where you can pursue litigation of this sort as a public figure. Some of you do not.
I love how this dude is crying about. You know, he slandered me. He called me a pedophile on his stream with zero evidence, obviously, because it's not true. All right, I've only been with one person in my life, and that is the woman I am married to. All right, I preach the traditional lifestyle because I live it, and it's awesome. Thank God. But Hasan Piker goes out there and he calls me a pedophile. All right, in front of his millions of people. And I can't fucking sue this guy, because to win a actual slander case in the United States, because thank God we have freedom of speech, I am ultimately a public figure, so I can't actually prove that without proving some sort of actual damages. And I mean, my career is going well. I get more views on my videos than he does on his videos. So obviously he really doesn't like that very much. However, I can't prove damages. I'm just felt like it was important to point out. This blue retard on the internet, I get more views on my videos than the biggest leftist political commentator on the planet. I just thought that was important to note.
Not comprehend that, okay? Still fucking annoying to constantly have to be compared to Candace Owens, dude. So frustrating.
You know, honestly, I hear that. I feel that. That's rough, buddy.
You know what? I'll give us on that one, though. Being compared to Candace Owens would be horrific.
My parents think you're an anti-Semite.
I feel like we should compare him more to like other people like Nasrallah or some other terrorist supporter.
My parents do? Okay, great. Well, maybe you should do a better job of explaining to them that that's not the case.
And why is this?
Is he crashing out on his stream to tell his chat to explain to their parents why Hasan Piker is not like Candace Owens? Absolute sin. It's crazy how the horseshoe theory is just completely vindicated every time. The far right, as they call Candace Owens, is not far right. She's just a leftist. All right, but they call her a far right. A far-right person? Get out of here.
This guy always derailing his stream to pull up random chatters. Now he's got beef with this random chatter's parents.
Ace, let's
dude,
go.
Just do your show. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And yes, I know there are entire Reddits, Discords, and Twitter communities with nothing but my haters who live to fucking have me read their stupid ass comment and like get mad in the process. I know. I just want what's best for people, man. It sucks so fucking bad.
I'm just a wholesome chungus that supports the rape of Jews. I'm just wholesome. Yeah, I think America deserved 9/11 and that my audience should go kill Senator Rick Scott, but I just want what's best for people, dude.
To just like be professionally misunderstood all the goddamn time. It's so fucking annoying. And stop falling for it. You will never understand what it's like.
Oh no, he's pulling up another chatter. Here we go again.
That's just the reality. Okay, you're not in this.
I am literally suffering so much. I have a mansion and a $200,000 Porsche and designer clothes, and I live with $50 million in the bank. You will never understand.
Position, I will never be able to communicate it to you. Okay, it's just virtually impossible. This is an unbelievably sophisticated machine that never stops. It's day in, day out. It's backed by a shit ton of people who have nothing else to live for, and you're over here making it
I
seem
love how
like
this dude is miserable and alone. And all these people with families that actually don't like the idea that we have Islamic terrorism in our country. And this dude is like, oh, you have nothing to live for.
I'm just too weak.
You know, I'd almost feel bad for the guy if he didn't bring this all upon
if he
himself.
wouldn't abuse his dog, I would feel a little bad for him, maybe.
And show no accountability for that. Like, he's acting confused about why people have this opinion of him, as if he's not the one who put out so many horrible statements over the years. Then, of course, there's also the whole Kaya stuff, but we've talked about that plenty. We also have an update on Valkyrie, Hasan's apparent girlfriend or not. I don't even know what's going on with that. Apparently they broke up or something. Whole thing's been weird for a long time, but let's start with this. Valkyrie says online hate about her age led to her canceling collabs.
Back to the main point that happened this past week.
Hate about her age means she is very self-conscious that she's getting old. Her eggs are drying up and falling out of her vagina, and she's never going to have children. And ultimately, that's what women want. You know, a lot of people say most women want kids. All women want kids. Some women don't admit it to themselves, but I think all women want kids.
Well, obviously, admittedly, it's nothing I never want to admit this, but it really affected me over the years. Like all the hate, all of the, like, oh, you're too old for this. You suck.
Damn, that sucks. Shame you're worth $50 million and can literally leave the public eye whenever you wanted to. But instead of doing that, you refuse. You refuse. You need to keep girl bossing. Look, man, this is the most self-induced issue of all time.
Start a family. It actually did get to me, admittedly.
Boy, that's so sad.
Yeah, it fucked me up.
The good news is she has her girlfriend to gas her up about how she's actually completely vindicated about her complaints.
No, I don't want it to. It has,
no,
you know, because
again, very
I start
human.
thinking like, you're right. What am I doing? And it's
True. Haters correct once again.
Oh man, like
you're living your
but this is like
life.
my career.
She's not. She is literally not married, no kids, getting old, no purpose in life, nothing. And yeah, no, she's totally right. She's right. Yeah.
Here, like I'm having
this. You have
I like
here.
this.
Oh, you have a YouTube channel and you have friends that gas you up on feminist bullshit.
First of all, it's kind of funny that Lily Pichu stopped doing the Sweet and Sour podcast with Pokimane, but now she's doing a podcast with Valkyrie. Maybe it's a one episode thing. I don't know, but that is funny. It's like the same person, basically. Real talk, though, this is a great example of toxic positivity, something that we've seen permeates notoriously throughout the AAA gaming industry.
It's AAA game. It's feminism. It is literally feminism. It's this toxic femininity. All right, toxic empathy. Nah. That's nothing like toxic positivity. Nah. That's toxic femininity. This is the most classic toxic feminine trait ever. And there's a lot of amazing, positive, fantastic feminine traits. This is not one of them. Gassing up the girl that's literally fucking killing herself? Nah. Sorry, dude.
It's a bit of a side note. Why is this toxic positivity, though? Because for a moment, Valkyrie actually was considering...
For a moment, she had a moment of lucidity where she actually did realize that her life is kind of worthless. The way it stands right now, completely miserable and alone, but just grinding to be a girl boss. And her girlfriend immediately squashed that notion in her head. No, you're doing everything right. The girl boss life is better. That's why it's toxic.
Having some self-reflection. There's actually nothing wrong with her being in her 30s, mid-30s, and thinking, hey, do I want to do this my whole life?
Nothing wrong. No, she doesn't want to do this her whole life. Oh my God.
Maybe at some point I want to...
10 years before this, she'd have some kids. Her life would be drastically better. And she doesn't want to admit that to herself.
Like unwind with this public presence, get a family, have kids. There is nothing wrong with her thinking about such a thing. And Valkyrie even says for a moment she was thinking like, oh, those people are right. What am I doing? And again, whether she agrees with them or...
I'm not endorsing any harassment of any of these people, by the way. I don't think you should go out there and harass these people. Just like learn from a perspective of an educational perspective, because I am an education channel first and foremost. Yeah, this bitch fucking up her own life.
Not, it still shows self-reflection and an interest in improving as a person, as leveling up. But Lily Pichu instantly starts giving this toxic positivity, like, no, you're just being human. You're living your best life.
No, but she's
not necessarily. You don't know that. Again, there's nothing wrong with her considering other options.
Like,
you're living your...
There is in the feminoid worldview.
This is like my career. Like, I'm having
this. You have
yeah, I
friends.
like
You're-
this. And so I realized, especially
That's
in the
right,
past
squash
year,
her back in that box. She almost escaped the cage.
because I'm 34 now, I've tried
clock is ticking
to avoid situations where age might become the topic. And so, for example, I was supposed to do a collab with Your Rage, and it was supposed to be an IRL stream, just one-on-one, but I asked, I was like, hey, can we do like a gaming thing with a group, do it in a group? And so we did Mario Party with Extra Emily and Leslie, and it was really fun. It was awesome. It was fun. I was also supposed to go to the Philippines with Jason the Ween, and it was like a one-on-one thing, and I realized, I was like, man, I just like don't want to IRL stream. Like I actually just want to stay home and be comfortable. So I ended up canceling that. And
her
also,
body is screaming at her to get married and become a mom. And she is screaming back at her very physiology. No, the girl boss lifestyle is better. This is like actually heartbreaking, man.
so the scheduling didn't work out anyways. But and then there's this beautiful 19-year-old, just incredible creator. She can sing, gorgeous. Her name is Yana. And we'd been talking for a while about collabing. I didn't want to do an IRL stream, but I also wanted to like plan something that'd be appropriate. And the way I worded it on stream, it came off as if I didn't want to collab with her because she was 19, which is just simply not true.
So for context on this, Valkyrie was getting criticism for declining this collab specifically because she phrased the age gap as inappropriate, which people thought was weird phrasing. But there's nothing wrong with someone in their mid-30s not wanting to do an IRL stream collab with someone who's a decade and a half younger than they are.
I get it.
You know, most people, when they go out, they tend to want to be around people that are close to their age group. So there's nothing wrong with that. But now she's saying that's not the problem. So she's been all over the place with this. I don't even know what her stance actually is at this point.
We were planning things.
I know what her stance is. Her stance is she desperately wants to stay home. She wants to stay home, get married, and have kids. But she also is literally living the best life. She's making millions. She's famous. And it's stopping her from being happy.
I think that she's so talented. I want to be someone that younger streamers can look up to and that I can help raise up. Ugh.
You are literally, I mean this as no offense, you're a bad role model. You are a bad role model. I'm sorry. A good role model would be someone who's married and has a family and kids that they love, that loves them, with a stable household, with a husband. That's a role model.
Oh, God, I wish... I'm just a poorly spoken person. Okay. That's a lot of fucking trauma. And I feel like I'm also too open for my own good, honestly. But, yeah. But at the end of the day, I realized I think I've been putting it off so long because I don't want to admit that I had a problem. Like, I didn't want to leave Twitter because I didn't want them to win, like, push me off of it. You know what I mean? Which is really stupid at the end of the day because, like, it really is just a small bubble. It's like the worst people in the world.
The reason why it's affecting her so much is because they're right. Obviously, not all the caters are right, but some of them are right, man. And it's eating her alive because she kind of knows they're right. And inside, she desperately believes them. She just doesn't want them to win. Nope, I will not back down. I will not take accountability. Nope. It's really heartbreaking. Look, man, I get so many haters. Like, insane amounts. I get death threats. I get haters. I get, like, these fictional stories about how I was blown up by Iranian missiles or some shit. I get it every single day. Every day, I get these death threats and hate and all this garbage. And you know what? I really don't fucking care. Like, don't bother me in my IRL life. I literally do not fucking care. At all, actually. I'm incredibly, thank God, blessed to have the life that I do, to have the family that I do, to have the community and support that I have. And I recognize that, and I thank God for it every single day. And I do not give a shit about what the retards say about me, because honestly, ever since I've been doing politics content, I have been doing my absolute best to be completely upfront and honest and push a true message, a positive, true message. And I don't care how messy and how ugly it sounds, or how blunt it sounds sometimes, or how abrasive it might seem to people, because I think I'm pushing the truth and the word of God as much as I possibly can. Sorry, I'm tired of infinite child castration and genital mutilation and infinite abortion jutsu. Sorry, don't like that shit, and I will talk out about it. And yes, I will lose friends because of it online, and yes, I don't care. And yes, your boos mean nothing, because I've seen what makes you cheer. The reason why the boos actually affect Valkyrie is because she knows the boos are right. When I get a leftoid making some hit piece on me, so someone made a video about me, like a 2-hour-long video about how I'm pro-slavery, and they could tell from my stances because I quote the Bible, and I do not care at all, bro. Do not care. All right, I didn't even watch the video. I just saw the title and thumbnail. But, like, what I'm trying to say is, the reason why the boos are affecting you is because the boos are right. If the boos really, really were wrong, they would mean nothing to you.
Bubble, and their entire thing is to clip farm you
Yeah.
and pokey and etc.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get a therapist. I've got one. I'm gonna actually get off Twitter. I need to stop explaining myself, and I'm just gonna freaking show love to the people that deserve it. I know I've said this before. I relapse sometimes, but
Yeah, so my nuclear take on therapists is that 9 out of 10 therapists are just going to reinforce the bullshit biases, and only 1 out of 10 therapists are actually helpful. It's so sad that we live in a society like this where so many people are just lost.
yeah.
This is just sad, man.
Yeah.
It's sad because, as we've talked about already, Valkyrie actually is capable of self-reflection, but she constantly diverts away from it. Now she's talking about getting a therapist, and it's like, dude, you already know what the problem is and what changes you need to make. Instead of getting toxic positivity from Lily Pichu and probably from the therapist next, put in the work and make those changes. Lastly, if you haven't seen this clip, this is why people are saying that Valkyrie has broke up with HASAN.
Oh, shit.
I've been crying a lot.
But like, she needs a husband so badly. Like, this is something you tell your husband, man, not your fucking Twitch chat. What are we doing?
But it's more so like not that not I'm okay. It's more so I've been speaking to my I spoke to my ex a lot, and their messages were really sad, and I feel so it's very emotional, very emotional. Yeah, but you know, it's life is lifing, and it's like, wow, holy crap, I can't believe. Yeah, sorry to hear that. No, it's okay. It's just it just makes me wonder, you know, what life could have been like if, you know, things were different. It's like,
If I wasn't famous and instead was married and had a family?
it's sad. It's just
It's
life
brutal,
is sad.
man.
You know,
Yeah,
this
brutal.
sometimes when, you know, I'm sure you guys understand.
I just can't believe how parasocial so many streamers are. That's really all I got to say about that.
That is miserable. Absolutely miserable. But yeah, anyway, trouble in paradise. Wow, you go woke, you go broke, you woke too close to the sun, yada yada, etc., etc. But yeah, it's crazy how every single leftist policy is just so obviously self-destructive. They have to literally mind rape you to keep you on track. It's heartbreaking. It really is. I really do hope that she figures shit out and finds a way to be happy moving forward. It just fucking sucks, man. Really sucks that she dated a terror supporter, I guess. That probably didn't help. Anyway, that was today's Chungus deep dive on all the things. This was a huge one, actually. I did a lot of stuff. Lots of things, lots of deep dives, but there was a lot going on. And as you know, I do the deep dive every day, as much as I can. Every day, another deep dive. Definitely subscribe. I'll see you with the next one. Thank you so much for all the support. You guys are incredible. And honestly, make something of your lives. Okay? All right? Listen, man. Listen, from a purely atheistic, utilitarianist perspective, okay? Purely utilitarianist and atheistic. You should be religious and follow the word of God, because it just gives you the best lifestyle. All right, forget all the spiritual stuff. But the word of God is also just awesome, purely on a materialistic perspective. All right, get married, have children. It sounds pretty great to me. Oh, and also it's true, and therefore you'll find spiritual fulfillment as well. I guess added bonus, I suppose. Anyway, really appreciate you guys for being here. You're awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.